At this moment, the whole room was instantly filled with spiritual energy.
After finishing the work, he told Director's son to go get a pot of wogan shui.
Cook it over high heat and give it to him.
Director's son looked puzzled but still did as Chin Imo said.
Not long after, a large bowl of wogan shui was brought over.
Wogan shui is rainwater,
which contains the spiritual energy of heaven and earth.
After refining it, it can be created. Adding another pill of purification pill can weaken the strength of the water. It has the effect of protecting and cleansing the kidneys.
Then, Old Master Chin drank all the water after refining it.
Director's son was shocked when he saw this scene.
Old Master Do stopped breathing and could not swallow.
This changed his previous opinion. Chin Imo, on the other hand, was calm. Because from the beginning he had seen that Old Master Do was not dead.
Next, Chin Imo used his spiritual power to cleanse the remaining poison in his kidneys.
Do Fengyao also stood by silently looking at Chin Imo. She believed that Chin Imo could definitely do it. Then the 6 forces in Chin Mo's hands suddenly erupted. From there, they stimulated Old Master Do's heart meridians. Suddenly, Elder Do's body reacted, and his hand also made a gentle movement.
Everyone was shocked and opened their mouths. This kid couldn't really bring the old man back to life, could he?
At this moment, the electrocardiogram machine on one side emitted continuous sounds. Everyone in the room felt extremely shocked when they saw this. Everyone praised this as a miracle among miracles. Mr. Tan was truly a god. Director's son saw this and asked how it was done.
Chin Imo said that the old man was only pretending to be dead.
He only needed to clean his kidneys and stimulate his heart to wake him up.
Director Tun felt admiration after hearing this.
Mr. Tan truly deserves to be called a genius.
Are you convinced of this old criminal?
Seeing this, Pham Tin Kyo could only reluctantly wave his hand.
It meant that today he was completely obedient and wanted to be Mr. Tan's teaching assistant.
Seeing this, Do Fengyao instantly leaned into Chin Mo's embrace and continuously thanked him.
When leaving, Do Sai also sought his daughter's thoughts and let her see Chin Imo off. After that, the two talked a lot on the way. Do Fengyao said this place cannot be compared to Hua Hai. After being in Yin Yang, I will protect you.
Because Qingjing University did not arrange dormitories, Chin Imo could only stay in a hotel for a while. At this moment, a man stood in front of Chin Imo and claimed to be the Do family's butler. Only after Old Master Do woke up did he know that you had saved him.
No matter what, I had to invite you to a meal. Hearing this, Chin Imo thought to himself that the Do family was the strongest in Yin Yang.
This was a great opportunity to become friends.
Chin Imo then smiled and agreed.
Immediately after that, the two of them arrived in front of the Yin Yang Fire Old Rich and Noble building. Eating in places like this, the strength of the Dao family can be imagined. At this time, Dudong the Mortal also appeared in the Great Hall of the Fire Old Rich and Noble house.
After seeing Chin Imo, several people couldn't help but have some evil thoughts in their hearts.
After asking around for Chin Mo's dining room, Du Yong couldn't help but reveal an evil smile.
It really wasn't a waste of effort to find it. Chin Imo, you just wait until you die.
Then Dudong called his best friend and told him to bring a group of his juniors here.
Quickly bring them here.
Today, I have to beat him to the point where he can't even drag himself to the hospital. At this time in the room.
After recovering, Old Master Do kept saying words of thanks to Chin Imo for saving his life.
After thanking him, he immediately revealed the real purpose of inviting Chin Mo here this time.
Following the order, Do Sai took out his bank card and there were 2 billion in it. This was the fee for treating Lao Fu for you.
On the other hand, he also wanted to hire you as a bodyguard for the Do family and the salary would be calculated separately.
Chin Imo was stunned when he heard that. A bodyguard again?
The ways of the rich were indeed somewhat similar. At this time, Do Fengyao standing behind also hoped that Chin Mo could agree. That way, there would be more opportunities to meet Chin Mo.
While Chin Imo was thinking, Do Sai added more.
We know that for a man like Mr. Chin, this amount of money is nothing. Besides, our Do family can also provide you with some conveniences. We can provide any precious herbs to Mr. Chin for free.
Hearing this, Chin Imo thought to himself that his path of cultivation was still long.
Herbs were indispensable. Chin Imo then nodded in agreement. Everyone was still immersed in the joy of this when suddenly the main door was kicked open by a group of people. I was Dudong who brought a group of thugs here.
Chin Imo, you didn't think of it. You can meet me here too, right? Prepare to die.
Chin Imo saw this and had no expression. This guy didn't know that the owner here was from the Do family. The receptionist couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat.
Someone dared to vandalize the bean house.
The director beside him quickly waved his hand, signaling that he should never worry about it. He would come and collect the body later. Seeing this, Old Master Do immediately shouted at who dared to be so disrespectful to Mr. Tan. Then he frowned. Dudong saw that and his words became even more outrageous.
What are you looking at, you old man?
Wait a moment, even if that old man goes away with him, I will send him away with him.
Hearing this, old Master Do's anger flared up. He quickly said to tell Dike Nhi to bring someone here.
Shin Mo saw that and said that there was no need to go through such trouble.
I can just borrow something from Do Sai.
Dudong saw that Shin Mo was still free to borrow things, so he shouted loudly and immediately attacked Shin Mo. At this moment, a business card appeared in front of Dudong. Immediately told him to stop the knife. Dudong saw that this person was from the Dao family. Seeing that the situation was not good, Dudong immediately knelt down on the ground and continuously apologized. The little brothers behind him were even more shocked when they saw this. They didn't expect to provoke the Dao family today.
How could they hang around in DM Duong in the future?
Then the group threw away the baseball bats. The leader hurriedly knelt on the ground and begged for forgiveness. And also gave the family head a hint to Shin Mo. The two slapped each other in the face until everyone was satisfied.
Shin Mo listened and revealed a satisfied smile. If so, then you guys start quickly. When we finish eating, then you two can stop.
It took a long time to listen to the symphony slap each other in the face.
Dinner together. After dinner, Dudong immediately called Hakka to clarify this matter.
It's just that Sako didn't think that Shin Mo would become so close to the Do family in such a short time. It seems that he personally suppressed Shin Mo's arrogance.
Then Sako's face darkened and he came up with a sinister plan. Let's use the name of the student union to organize a postgraduate reunion.
Tell Tran Yuyan to invite Shin Mo here. Then put drugs in Shin Mo's wine.
Take advantage of the moment when he touches Tran Yuyan and secretly record it. Then accuse him of teasing his female classmates.
Let this brat carry this stain for the rest of his life. Not long after, inside the Phi Tien bar, Tran Yuyan brought Shin Mo to attend the graduation party organized by the student association. Shin Mo had just entered the bar when a hunting dog brought news about Shin Mo to Sako.
Sako saw this and quickly went forward to welcome him. Unexpectedly, classmate Shin Mo also came. Let's have a drink together tonight.
Don't forget to let Dudong hide behind. Take this opportunity to apologize to Shin Mo. Sako's expression in front of the people behind him is extremely innocent. Next, he poured wine into the glass and then smiled and said, "Everyone, let's drain our glasses.
Drink this glass of wine and consider it as forgiving Dudong." Shin Mo looked at this situation and couldn't help but have doubts in his eyes.
Then he took the glass of wine Hakka handed him, revealing a faint smile.
Then I will give him face and forgive him. Tran Yuyan also looked at Hakka with admiration. Hakka's competition in her eyes was still as elegant as before.
When Shin Mo finished drinking this glass of wine, Sako revealed a smile that was not easily detected. He was even more overjoyed in his heart.
Shin Mo, let me see how you will explain.
While the people were drunk, they respected each other even more. At this moment, Hakka looked at his watch. The medicine just now must have lost much of its effectiveness.
He then made an excuse to leave the scene, leaving only Tran Yuyan and Shin Mo alone in a room. The two people left the room and immediately contacted the school authorities. Informed them that there were boys and girls doing that. They did not forget to lock the room from the outside before leaving. Everything is ready except the east wind.
After a long while, Dudong kept his eyes glued to the bar door, eavesdropping. There was no movement from inside. During the time, the school leader quickly arrived at the bar. A second later, he saw Hakka hugging him from behind.
This couldn't help but scare Dudong into making a panicked sound.
Next, he did even more outrageous actions. He couldn't help but say, "Beautiful girl, kiss me." At this time in the room, Tran Yuyan showed that she wanted to go to the bathroom. Hearing this, Shin Mo immediately decided to take her to the bathroom door. But as soon as the main door opened, I saw the two of them being affectionate with each other.
When Tran Yuyan saw this scene, Hakka's image in her eyes immediately collapsed.
It turned out that Shin Mo had known long ago that Sako had put drugs in his wine.
At that time, Shin Mo used spiritual energy to replace some of it. At this moment, the school leader angrily walked towards the crowd. Who the hell dared to molest a female student in public? Hearing that, Shin Mo pointed his finger at the female victim.
But there was one male victim. The school leaders were stunned when they saw this. They never thought that the previously domineering student council president, Sako, would do such a thing. Then the leader hurriedly sent someone to separate the two people so as not to tarnish the school's reputation. At this time, Dudong's butt was blooming chrysanthemums. His mouth kept making cries for help.
To prevent this, the school decided that from today on, no one is allowed to say anything.
A few hours later, the strong smell of disinfectant in the hospital woke Hakka up. Hakka's father saw this and immediately gave him a hard slap.
Do you still have the nerve to wake up? I worked so hard to raise you. Not to let you embarrass my Ha family. Sako looked confused and didn't understand what was going on.
At this moment, Sako's father took out his phone and played the video that the others had just recorded.
Sako saw this and his expression changed greatly. This person couldn't be him.
Sako's father raised his eyebrows and called him trash. Even a kid from Hua can climb the tower by himself. Then he coldly snorted and said that brat dared to make my Xia family lose face like that. Then don't blame me for being cruel.
Tomorrow, you go with me to beg Master Gua Xia.
Please trouble him to kill Qin Mo. When Sako heard that it was Grandmaster Gua Xia, he immediately thought to himself. Qin Mo's victory in Hua was mostly due to martial arts grandmasters.
Could Grandmaster Gua Xia be his opponent? Father frowned and said, how can Grandmaster Hua compare to Yin Yang? Grandmaster Gua only needs one small finger to crush that kid to death. Hearing this, Sako's face immediately distorted. Qin Mo, everything I had to endure today. Please compensate with your own life. Scene change. Qin Mo just opened the apartment arranged by the school. He saw a beautiful girl dressed in cool clothes lying comfortably on the sofa. Then he looked closely at the two words dance hanging on the wall. He didn't expect that his roommate was a dance teacher. At this time, the woman also noticed Qin Mo at the door. She didn't wait for Qin Mo to introduce himself to her. Next, another death-defying kick was sent towards Qin Mo.
Faced with the sudden kick, Qin Mo was so scared that he quickly protected his precious baby. Worriedly, he quickly took out his education certificate and placed it at his feet. Looking at the two words professor on the lecturer's card, the beauty just realized that she had misunderstood Qin Mo. She hurriedly explained to Qin Mo that recently a student had been following her. She immediately mistook Qin Mo for him.
Qin Mo suspected that he was being followed, so why didn't he report it to the police?
The beauty had tried it before. But the result was that everyone thought he often dressed revealingly. He also worked part-time at a bar. That's why he never reported it to the police again. Hearing the beauty say that he often dresses revealingly, Qin Mo blushed and thought to himself. It seems like he will have trouble being her roommate in the future. Back in his room, Qin Mo began his daily cultivation. However, today he had broken through to the grain accumulation realm. The great cultivation pill was no longer able to help him continue cultivating. He had to find high-grade medicinal herbs. At this time, almost midnight, the cell phone beside suddenly rang. Bai Su Shui hid in the corner, looking nervous. While talking, she informed Qin Mo that the stalker had followed her to Fei Tian Bar. Bai Su Shui had no choice but to ask Qin Mo for help. In the bar at this time, the stalker had already planned it long ago. Arrange for a group of hooligans to rush onto the stage to tease her. At that time, he himself would come as a hero to save the beauty. The beauty would definitely be moved. At that time, it would be easy to catch her. At this time, Bai Su Shui on stage also noticed. Below, the crazy fans were watching. Will Qin Mo come tonight? If not, how will I escape tonight? A second later, there was only a shattering sound. The bar door was broken open by Qin Mo. At this moment, his eyes were sharp and determined as he looked at Bak Tutuet. On the stage, he slowly walked up to the stage. A second later, he directly led Bak Tutuet down from the stage. The man saw the unexpected incident and immediately showed anger on his face. His play had not even begun yet, so he could not let the main character go. Immediately ordered the juniors beside him to step forward to stop them. Seeing this, the two people could only speed up and run towards the door. But as soon as they reached the door, Haka brought a group of people to break the door. The man was momentarily stunned. A second later, an evil smile appeared. The man mistook this group of actors for the actors he invited. At this moment, Qin Mo's face showed a troubled expression. If he fought with them now. He was afraid that the people who were following Snow White would take this opportunity to attack Snow White. While Qin Mo was in a dilemma, the man directly punched Sako hard on the forehead. Then he got even angrier and yelled at you hooligans for daring to touch my dear teacher. Bai. Qin Mo felt that this scenario was going in the wrong direction. Sako Anonymous miraculously got punched also has a confused expression. Only the stupid man looked at teacher Bak with glee. Thinking her heart must be very touched now. Haka regained his composure. Just as he was about to speak, the man turned around and shouted again. I'm the one who hit you, get lost. Haka is the young master of the Ha family, how can he bear this anger? He also immediately returned a punch. Then the two of them started fighting. The man saw this and was so anxious that he shouted loudly, I didn't ask you to hit me. I want my money back. Not long after, Haka finished dealing with the crazy stalker. Then turned his head and looked at Qin Mo fiercely. Next it was Qin Mo's turn.
Sako immediately made a sound. The two bodyguards quickly attacked Qin Imo. Qin Imo also had a helpless expression. Can you give me a new path? Kill Qin Imo. These words were heard from Hua Hai to Yin Yang. When will there be a new line? Sako's mouth corners slightly raised. This is Yin Yang. There is no part for you, Qin Imo. In less than a second, the walnut in Qin Mo's hand drew a phantom image in the air. It quickly hit the bodyguards' heads, causing them to immediately fall to the ground. There was also one that directly shattered Sako's two front teeth. Guo Xia, who was standing at the side, was also terrified. Just a few walnuts were enough to repel the bodyguards. This young man was not that simple. Then Guo Xia's face revealed a terrifying smile. It's just a pity you met me today. Martial arts master Yin Yang is indeed extraordinary. His aura alone has already pulled Hua Hai apart by a large margin. His face was arrogant and haughty. If Qin Imo obediently apologized at this moment, he would have an easier death. Qin Imo saw this situation and also had a helpless expression. Looking at Qin Imo, he was not afraid at all and acted as if nothing had happened. Guo Xia was instantly angry, his veins popping out. This was the first time someone dared to ignore him. He shouted loudly and quickly attacked Qin Imo. Arrogant young man. Today is the day you die. The moment Guo Xia was about to make contact with Qin Imo took out all the walnuts in his hand. He quickly attacked Guo Xia. Is a martial artist of Dudong. Also has extremely fast movement speed. These attacks are just child's play for him. A second later, a huge wave appeared on Qin Mo's face. This was the first time Qin Imo had encountered an opponent who attacked so quickly. Sweat could not help but appear on his face. Following a phantom image, Qin Imo seemed to flash behind Guo Xia. Then he started to tease the martial arts master in front of him. Every single one of his attacks was dodged by Qin Imo at extremely fast speed. A second later, it appeared in another direction of him. While Qin Imo was joking, Haka noticed that Teacher Bak was observing. Then he came up with a plan. When Teacher Bak let out a loud scream, Qin Imo also stopped. Unexpectedly, Qin Imo was having so much fun that he forgot about Teacher Bak. Faced with Sako's threat, Qin Mo's pupils wrinkled and he stood there dumbfounded. But at this moment, Guo Xia saw this and revealed an evil smile, thinking to himself. My chance has finally come. Only to see Guo Xia use his strongest strike. Heavily hit Qin Imo, who was not prepared. Seeing Qin Imo being severely injured by Grandmaster Guo Xia, Sako finally could not contain the joy in his heart. Just like that, he was beaten to death by Grandmaster Guo. A second later, Qin Mo's expression changed. His eyes became colder than ever. Following, a phantom image quickly struck in front of Haka. Haka let out an ah sound and fell to the ground. Facing the villain Sako, Qin Imo did not hesitate at all. The stone fist was like a heavy raindrop hitting Sako. After dealing with Haka, Qin Imo stood up slowly and looked towards Quach Ha. Face unchanged, the corners of the mouth slightly raised. Now it's your turn. Following a phantom image of Guo Xia on the ground, Qin Imo kicked him away. He hit Guo Xia's forehead. Duon said that a small finger can crush. Quach Ha, this martial arts grandmaster has fallen. Everyone who saw this scene before their eyes were shocked to the core. A single seed instantly killed a martial arts grandmaster. It directly changed their perception. In the hospital, old Master Ha asked who dared to injure his son like that. After hearing the whole story from his men, old Master Ha was instantly furious. Dare to bully our Ha family like this is really too arrogant. Then his face revealed an evil smile. Guo Xia was just a bait that he had arranged. If he killed Yin Yang's people and the Guo family came forward, Qin Imo would not be far from death. At this time in the apartment, Qin Imo could only continue cultivating by refining the 5-grain pill. Refining the 5-grain pill must have the scent of the orchid. Thinking so, Qin Imo had to call first. The Dou family agreed to give him free medicinal herbs. Faced with Qin Mo's suggestion of orchid, Dousai pretended that he didn't have this medicinal herb at home. He even showed him a way. In 2 days, DM Duan and Tian Fuklao will hold a medicine meeting. There will definitely be medicine merchants preparing Tian Lan Hung. Then ask if the Dao family needs to come forward to resolve it. Qin Imo tactfully refused Dou Si's good intentions. If the Dou family came forward, it would really be too much of a publicity stunt. Then go to the pharmacy alone. Intended to use the body supplement pill he refined to exchange for the best orchid fragrance. Faced with Qin Imo wanting to use the body supplement pill to exchange for the orchid fragrance, everyone passing by thought that Qin Imo was crazy. The orchid fragrance was so precious, wanting to use this broken pill to exchange for it was delusional. Qin Imo could only helplessly sigh upon seeing this. It seemed that they could not see for themselves how beneficial the body supplement pill was.
Then he took one and drank it loudly. Eating this pill can increase martial arts strength.
If it is fake, you can return it.
Everyone was attracted by Qin Mo's words. But they all thought that Qin Mo was bragging. How could a pill increase martial arts strength? At this time, the young master of the Gua family was also attracted by the excitement of this place. Next, he wanted to get him a free fruit to try. Who would have thought that a second later he would directly brush it off? You dare give this medicine to this young master?
I feel like you are trying to kill me.
As soon as the pill fell, a dog saw it. Then it swallowed it directly. A moment later, the dog's eyes flashed with golden light. It looked like it was about to evolve. A second later the dog's body changed a lot. Looking straight at the face like Super Saiyan. The other dogs saw it and couldn't help but show loving eyes. The dog slowly walked towards Mr. Quatch. The momentum beside him scared everyone to continuously retreat. Next, he beat up young Master Gua, who was a martial arts master, until he couldn't fight back. Seeing this, everyone couldn't help but change their previous perspective. A dog just ate one fruit and its ability overwhelmed a martial arts grandmaster. This kind of effect inevitably made everyone want to have it. They started to praise it without reserve. They wanted to buy as many as Qin Mo had.
Qin Mo looked at the cash people offered and continuously refused.
It indicated that the body replenishing pill could only be exchanged for orchid fragrance.
He would not accept anything else.
Such a powerful supplement pill naturally attracts a few people with evil intentions.
The man's name was Kang Van Nien.
At this time, he posted a plan with Na-sun, Sect Master Huck and Grandmaster Tuesday Tam.
How to get this body replenishing pill formula. Late at night, young Sect Master Guolin, wearing evening clothes, went to Qin Mo's residence.
As soon as he reached the door, he saw Kong Wonran and the others appear in front of Qin Mo's door. Guolin secretly thought that with Na-sun Huck Sect Master and Tuesday Tam here, this brat Qin Mo is dead for sure.
He can't say that he can still sit back and reap the benefits. Qin Mo was frightened by the big men who broke in and immediately sat up on the bed. Qin Moe did not agree with them.
He said that he could only exchange his body replenishing pill for the scent of orchids.
Otherwise, please come back later. Kang Van Nien's face suddenly darkened. The Kang family has a few orchids.
But they are the Kang family's treasures. There is no way to exchange them for pills. Then he threatened Mr. Tan that if he was offered a drink and didn't like it, he would be punished.
That's none of our business. Qin Mo was seen holding the body replenishing pill in his hand and calmly said that the body replenishing pill is right here. Those who have the ability can come and get it. A second later, a figure quickly attacked. This person was Guolin, who had just been hiding to the side. Only saw Guolin had not yet come into contact with Qin Mo. He was already shaken on the spot by Qin Mo's enormous spiritual power. Kong Wonran's face suddenly became unsightly.
According to the investigation, Qin Mo was just a professor at Qingjing University. There was no mention of him being able to kill a martial arts master with one move. This inevitably made the bodyguard beside him look frightened. Even a martial arts grandmaster was easily killed.
Wouldn't going up by himself mean inviting death? Seeing this, Kang Van Nien immediately gave orders.
Sect Master Huck and Grandmaster Tuesday Tam together took action to deal with Qin Mo. When the three forces collided, a huge explosion was heard. Only then did Qin Mo realize that he was facing two martial arts grandmasters.
Moreover, they were Yin Yang's martial arts grandmasters.
This made Qin Mo have no choice but to temporarily retreat.
But martial arts grandmaster DM Duong is indeed different from Hoa Hai.
In a flash, Qin Mo was stopped from leaving. Seeing this, Kang Van Nien laughed disdainfully.
Just a brat like Hoa Hai, he dared to oppose my Kang family and the two grandmasters.
Today, I will let you die here. Facing the combined attack of two martial arts grandmasters Yin Yang, Qin Mo would undoubtedly die if he accepted.
Kang Van Nien also looked at this side with anticipation. A second later, the large door burst open with a loud bang and was broken open by a purple phantom. It quickly charged towards the two grandmasters. Then the old man just flicked his hands and the two grandmasters were sent flying. This person was the mysterious old man Qin Mo had met in the prison before. Facing Senior Long Ngo suddenly attacking the two grandmasters, they were very unconvinced. Is that old man in a hurry to die? Quickly leave. Otherwise, even he will be dealt with along with him.
Long No's expression changed greatly after he finished speaking. Then he calmly said, "Just with your small strength." Facing the combined attack of two grandmasters, only saw Senior Long Ngo slightly raise one hand. The purple spiritual energy in his hand began to condense. Following that, a sound of spiritual energy quickly exploded. The two grandmasters completely lost their fighting power.
Seeing Long No's strength, Kang Van Nien quickly ran away. After the fierce battle, Senior Long Ngo took out a brocade bag and gave it to Qin Mo. It meant that inside was the orchid fragrance he wanted. After saying that, he turned around and left. As he walked, he muttered, if that old man knew that his descendant was still alive. Moreover, he had come to Yin Yang, he would be very happy. Qin Mo heard that and hurriedly chased after. This made Qin Mo wonder if Senior Longwu was very familiar with his parents. At this time in the house, the Kong family had also heard that Qin Mo was attacking Guolin. Even Sect Master Su and Grandmaster Hui Xin joined forces and were severely injured by an old man. But as the leader of the Yin-Yang pharmaceutical world, Kong Jia vowed to obtain the body-replenishing pill. Later, through investigation, it was found that Qin Mo had offended many people in Yin-Yang. They immediately planned to join forces with other great clans of Yin-Yang to kill Qin Mo. Hearing this, the Guo family head on the side immediately stood up. A few days of humiliation, Qin Mo killed his disciple. Then killed his son. This enmity will be irreconcilable. Seeing this, the two Kong Jia men showed joy on their faces. Guo Qiao was extremely powerful and he would be the first suicide squad. Scene changes after Qin Mo obtains the orchid fragrance. He is also refining the 5-grain pill in the pharmaceutical room of Qingjing University. At this moment, outside the medicine room door, a man tapped the communicator in his ear, informing his superiors that Qin Mo's target had been locked. If they could take action tonight, the mission would be 100% successful. He is the top assassin of the Tianmen Assassins organization and his name is Shi Lu. He is good at using poison and has never failed. Last year, he received an assassination mission from the Helix Squad. He has been following Qin Mo for over a year. Recently, he had infiltrated Qingjing Imperial Academy under the guise of a teacher. He had originally planned to wait for the right moment to make a move. He had not expected Qin Mo to personally come to his door. It seemed that the mission of more than a year was about to be completed. At this time, Qin Mo was also refining the 5-grain pill for the first time. He had failed 13 times before. The 14th time he attacked the 5-grain pill. The pill furnace under Qin Mo's control suddenly began to move violently. Looking at the red pill furnace with cracks appearing, Qin Mo immediately felt something was wrong. At this moment, a smile appeared on Shi Lu's face as he appeared next to Qin Mo. Qin Mo saw this and didn't think much of it. He quickly told him to go out. Shi Lu held a bottle of poison in his hand and smiled, indicating that he was here to help. Qin Mo thought to himself, is this kid stupid? Can't he see that this thing is explosive? A second later, Qin Mo couldn't care less about the red-hot alchemy furnace. He ran out crazily. Qin Mo ran away, leaving Shi Lu standing there, dumbfounded. It seemed like he understood. At this moment, Su Lu saw a red-hot alchemy furnace shaking violently, following a loud explosion accompanied by Su Lu's miserable scream. The entire medicine room collapsed in an instant following the pill furnace explosion. Judging from the situation, this explosion was even more powerful than the last one. The commotion at the medical institute quickly alarmed the entire Qingjing University. Director Sun and the others rushed over. Looking at the pharmacy room, the flames were flying everywhere. Director Tun clenched his fists and his eyes looked like he wanted to eat someone. Professor Tan. What the hell is going on? Qin Mo thought in confusion. If he honestly declared that he was in Yin Yang, he wouldn't have to mess around. Moreover, he would have to compensate Qingjing University with billions. Then, he kept saying that the pharmacist was making medicine there. I don't know what's going on. It was already happening when I arrived. Thinking back, he had just told him to run quickly. In the end, Apothecary Shi was still in a daze. He had delayed in throwing the pill furnace, which led to this incident. So, going back and forth was all Apothecary Shi's fault. When Shi Lu was found, he was already in a state of not wanting to live. His entire body was charred and he was still lying on the stretcher. The medical teachers here scattered and looked towards Qin Mo right now, only Qin Mo could save him. Qin Mo felt a little embarrassed thinking about it. After all, it was because of his own reasons. In any case, that person was saved. After saving him, Su Lu slowly opened his eyes. After a while, Su Lu finally remembered what had just happened. Then he got even more angry and wanted to stand up and kill Qin Mo. The caretaker beside him hurriedly stopped him. Everyone thought that he must have gone crazy. It took a lot of effort for Professor Tan to pull his soul back. Instead of thanking him, the first thing he did when he woke up was to kill Qin Mo. Shi Lu widened his eyes and said Qin Mo had insulted him. The professional killer had a history of more than a decade. He had never felt as uncomfortable as he did today. Qin Mo also understood very well and patted Shi Lu's head and said, okay, everyone listen to me. Wait until you recover before killing me, okay? Like a father talking to his son, he patiently coaxed Shi Lu.
Everyone here thought that Shirlu had experienced a violent explosion. Perhaps there was something wrong with his mind that led to this. A few days later in the Gua manor, in order to avenge the killing of his son and disciple, the Gua family had decided to attack Qin Mo's close relatives first. This also allowed Qin Mo to experience a little of the feeling of losing a loved one. From his subordinates, he learned that Qin Mo had recently been taking great care of a man named Shirlu. When Shirlu blew up the key laboratory, Qin Mo not only did not get angry, but instead saved him. Even though Shirlu scolded Qin Mo for being indecent and speaking rudely after waking up, Qin Mo still tolerated him. Perhaps the relationship between the two was not normal. Wei Jia heard this and immediately stood up in excitement. He didn't expect Qin Mo to have such a weakness. At that time, we will deal with Qin Mo and take him hostage. Shirlu was destined to become Qin Mo's assistant, and he was extremely naive. But for Shirlu, it wasn't a bad thing. This way, he could get a little closer to Qin Mo. He could also find an opportunity to assassinate Qin Mo. Qin Mo only revealed a smile. He was very confident in bringing the newly refined 5-grain pill. He asked Shirlu to bring it to the medical school to be refrigerated. We need to check its safety. Then Shirlu hugged the alchemy furnace and gritted his teeth as he left the apartment. On the way, he kept cursing Qin Mo. At this moment, a group of middle-aged men wearing evening clothes suddenly appeared and blocked Shirlu's path. Shirlu looked at them blankly and said, "What do you want to do?" Only saw the middle-aged leader coldly evaluate Shirlu from top to bottom. You are Qin Mo's assistant. At this time, Shirlu also guessed their identity as assassins. I couldn't help but think to myself, could it be that they're here to steal my business? Then I warned the other party with a more serious expression. Qin Mo can only be mine. The leader was right. No wonder Qin Mo protected him so much. They really had that kind of relationship. It was disgusting. After saying that, the man ordered his subordinates to arrest him. Shirlu was so scared that she wanted to cry. Why did she always encounter these terrible things when she was by Qin Mo's side? Next, he introduced himself as someone who wanted to kill Qin Mo. He was an assassin from the Tian Manhua branch. Moreover, he didn't have that kind of relationship with Qin Mo. The man was stunned when he heard the words Tianman assassin. The crowd sneered and looked at Su Lu as if he was mentally retarded. So what did he do with the medicine bottle in his hand? Shirlu replied that he helped Qin Mo deliver the medicine. As soon as he finished speaking, the scene fell silent. The crowd looked at Shirlu as if he was an idiot. Not long after, a dart landed in front of Qin Mo's dormitory door. The other party requested that someone go to Gua's house if they wanted to save Shirlu's 3 eyes. Qin Mo still didn't understand why Gui Zhao wanted to capture Shirlu. But he had to go and see. After all, the 5-grain pill was important. 3 days later, the Gua family training ground was crowded. The Gua family generation used sticks as weapons. In Yenyang, there is a famous successor of Sun Wukong. And the Gua family's head, Gua Xiao, is a rare top-level martial arts master. Also called the Master Sun Wukong? Are the people below the stage talking about it now? What was Grandmaster Gua doing? He had closed his eyes and rested for a day and a night. Later, someone who knew about it explained that he was practicing martial arts. Rumor has it that there is a treasure passed down for hundreds of years in the Gui clan. It is like a golden stick that naturally expands and contracts. But to use it, one must have the approval of the heavens. This is called the opening of the stick path. Compared to the outfit Bai Yu Ran was wearing, hidden in the hearts of the crowd was a weapon that could not be helped but be approved by the heavens. So shouldn't this be called a divine weapon? Just then, a loud bang was heard. A red stick fell from the sky. People were so scared that they kept avoiding it. Guo Xiao smiled as a 7-foot-20-inch tall golden stick stopped behind him. And it was the heavenly staff. Seeing this, everyone couldn't help but exclaim. He was truly not a mortal. I'm afraid that Grandmaster Gui was no longer just a grandmaster. Sect Master Su laughed and said that it was natural. More than 10 years ago, Yenyang's #1 genius, Qin Yanan, escaped from Yenyang. At that time, Guo Xiao had already reached the Grandmaster realm. Now, he had naturally taken another step forward. At this time, Bai Yuan was standing nearby. Hearing that Qin Mo was definitely going to die, he couldn't help but feel doubtful. Then he stepped forward to confirm again. Is Qin Mo and Grandmaster Gua having a martial arts discussion today? Facing a beauty like Bai Yuan, Kangwen Ran revealed a foolish expression. It was neither the other way around. The two words martial arts discussion here were a bit inappropriate. Because Qin Mo would be one-sidedly crushed today. Bak Noyet Nin gently clenched her fists and covered her face, unable to contain her nervousness. At this moment, Xia Jia sat down on one side and spoke up in support of Guo Xiao. The bird gave Xiajia 20 million to support the person who killed Qin Imo.
Bak Noyadnin looked at the great elders waiting for Qin Imo to die and couldn't help but feel nervous. Guo Xiao smiled faintly and promised that if this person enters our Guo family, he will definitely not return. However, I really don't put people from Hua Hai in my eyes. So today, I will experience the strength of Yin Yang Yukong Grandmaster. Outside the door, a clear but cold voice rang out, attracting all the guests present. The person who came was Qin Imo, and Qin Imo leisurely walked in. He also had a sword on his back. After Qin Imo entered, all eyes turned to him. Some were suspicious, some were disdainful, and some were curious. Bak Noyadnin was the first to see Qin Imo appear and her body was startled. She bit her red lips and couldn't take her eyes off Qin Imo's figure. The two of them walked to the arena and stood up at the same time. Qin Imo held the hilt of his sword in his left hand. Then he asked where Shi Lu was. Guo Xiao glanced at him and said calmly, "As long as you accept 3 hits from me, Qin Imo, I will let you know where he is." Qin Imo heard that and had no choice but to agree. Anyway, the 5-root pill is still on Shi Lu's body and must be retrieved. As soon as Guo Xiao finished speaking, his strength exploded. A fierce wave surrounded him. The strength of a martial arts grandmaster poured out at this moment. A hurricane suddenly arose from all directions, sweeping away Guo Xiao's surroundings. Just as everyone was terrified, Guo Xiao's figure came towards Qin Imo. Like a thunderbolt sweeping across, wanting Qin Imo to kill. Guo Xiao was shocked when he saw this. He could actually accept this blow so calmly. When the second and third sticks fell, the scene was in one piece. The martial arts grandmaster displayed his strength. In an instant, the crowd of onlookers felt that Qin Imo had long since died. Sako and Kong Wonran looked happy that Qin Imo had finally died. Only Bak Noyadnin was silently shedding tears on the side. "Master, how could you leave me alone? Wait until the aura of the Monkey King disperses." 3 familiar voices come from one side. "I have accepted your 3 sticks as promised. Master Guo, can you tell me where Shi Lu is?" At this moment, Guo Xiao was so terrified that his pupils were about to pop out. He never thought that this kid would be able to receive the martial arts grandmaster's 3 sticks. It turned out that he originally did not want to tell Qin Imo about Shi Lu's news. He originally thought that the 3 sticks could solve Qin Imo's problem. But he did not expect that. Then Guo Xiao raised his face to the sky and shouted loudly that he was in the underworld. "Qin Imo, you also go die with him." Following that, Guo Xiao used the Heavenly Profound Staff technique again. The Fire Nation Heavenly Staff swung and spun in the air. Qin Imo raised his head and looked at the 6 sticks carrying flames falling down with a loud rumble. It was like 6 streaks of lightning were rumbling down. Everyone who saw it was stunned. This was Grandmaster Guo's strongest martial art, the Heavenly Profound Staff technique. Qin Imo must have been afraid that he would not be able to escape the heat today. Only then did Kong Wonran realize. This brat Qin Imo couldn't die. He hadn't gotten the body-strengthening pill yet. 6 heavenly sticks fell onto the training ground with a loud bang, creating a huge hole. Facing Grandmaster Guo's strongest martial art. But surprisingly, Qin Imo was still standing on the ground. His eyes were cold as ice and his voice was sharp as he asked where Guo Xiao was. At this moment, Guo Xiao was stunned on the spot with an unbelievable expression. A second later, Qin Imo appeared beside Guo Xiao. He directly grabbed the staff that he was proud of. Quach Q was also very surprised to see that. "Qin Imo, how dare he hold my staff?" Seeing this, Kang Van Nien secretly rejoiced. The heavenly staff recognized its master. If an outsider touched it lightly, it would burn and severely cut off its meridians. Qin Imo was courting death. Seeing this, the Guo men were furious and shouted without knowing their limits. "The Guo men's heavenly staff is not something you can touch." Only saw the staff in Qin Mo's hand, he smiled faintly and said, "In this world, there is nothing that I, Qin Imo, cannot touch." Everyone's expressions instantly synchronized. A young man in his 20s was actually able to suppress the spiritual power in the heavenly staff. This young man far exceeded everyone's imagination. Only Kang Van Nien standing at the side revealed a smile. Grandmaster Quach had yet to show his trump card. It seemed like he wouldn't be able to get the medicine this time. Guo Xiao roared. The 18 pillars in Gui Gate immediately rose up. Everyone who saw this was in panic. Guo Men's face trembled violently. Some buildings also began to collapse. Underneath Guo Men's ground was a huge formation. Following Guo Xiao's words, a huge explosion sounded. 18 giant pillars shot up into the sky. Like 18 giant dragons rumbling and moving. Everyone felt that it was over. This Gui Gate formation was a 100-year-old formation, how could Qin Mo break it? 18 giant pillars rumbled towards Qin Mo. They formed a siege on Qin Mo.
If the 18 giant pillars hit Qin Mo, his soul would be scattered on the spot. At this moment, Guo waved his hand and shouted, "Destroy me!" The 18 giant pillars collided with each other and charged towards Qin Mo with an explosion. All 18 pillars fell down.
Dust and smoke billowed over the training ground.
The old pillar was stuck straight into the ground without moving. The magnificent scene that took place after the war made people feel solemn.
Qin Mo was crushed to the ground by the sky-piercing pillar.
Guo saw this and his face was so excited he couldn't speak.
Facing the opening of the mouth of Grandmaster Hui Xin.
For hundreds of years, no one had heard of someone surviving perfectly in battle.
Everyone believed that Qin Mo was really dead.
Everyone from the martial arts world also happily clapped their hands to congratulate Guo sect.
Kill the little thief Hoa Hai. Make little Hoa Hai afraid.
Guo, although covered in dust, could hardly contain his joy.
I said I would let that brat go without returning.
Suddenly, a rumbling sound came from afar. A cold sound suddenly came from the bottom of the giant pillar. A brilliant golden light erupted from below the giant pillar, revealing the Tathagata Buddha. As the entire ground rumbled, the 18 pillars immediately exploded. At this moment, spiritual energy surrounded Qin Mo's body.
He slowly stood up in the pit. Grandmaster Tuesday Tam could not help but be shocked. He actually knew one of the lost Buddhist secrets. How was this possible?
Only saw Qin Mo's arm veins pop out.
Like a devil from hell sweeping away everyone here.
Finally Qin Mo's eyes stopped on Guo and said, "You have successfully angered me. Today I will destroy your Guo sect." According to Qin Mo's words, the 3 spiritual powers that came from the palm of his hand left no place without a blade of grass.
In a moment, the Quach family was destroyed.
The air was quiet at this moment. Except for the sound of smoke falling from the sky, no one could sense any movement.
Qin Mo walked towards Guo step by step. Guo looked at Qin Mo in fear and continuously retreated. Grandmasters facing death were no different from mortals. Qin Mo quickly walked in front of him. He grabbed his neck and lifted him into the air. Like catching a dying ant.
Qin Mo looked at him with a half-smile and said, "Dad, he is the descendant of the great sage equaling heaven, a top-notch Taoist master of the flame sun. He also calls a young man around 20 years old dad." After finishing the Guo family's matter, Qin Mo brought Shi Lu and walked out arrogantly. He walked out in a big hurry. Then looking at the chaotic scene before his eyes, Shi Lu's heart couldn't help but tremble a little.
One person said and destroyed the entire sect. How could I think that I could kill him? Moreover, if I failed the mission, I wouldn't be able to return to the heavenly gate.
I decided to accept Qin Mo as my master.
At the main gate, Bok Noyed Nin and Qin Mo met. Not long after, the two of them arrived at Qin Mo's residence. Bai Yueran said that Baishir Pharmaceutical Company was opening a branch office. She came to investigate the market and would stay for a short time. After hearing that she wanted to stay with him, Qin Mo was momentarily startled. After all, there was a teacher in his dormitory. At this moment, Teacher Bok suddenly opened the door. The atmosphere that had just been under surveillance suddenly became quiet again. Bai Yueran kept looking at Qin Mo and coldly asked who she was. Qin Mo quickly explained that this was just his roommate. He left the two of them outside to talk for a bit. Back in his room, Qin Mo took out the 5-grain pill. Whether or not he could break through this time depended on the 5-grain pill. After eating the pill, spiritual energy appeared around his body. In an instant, it lit up the entire room. At this moment, a new feeling suddenly came. Finally breaking through a valley of the final stage, the divine consciousness opened up. The divine consciousness could detect movements from miles away and the eyes would also improve with the realm. The divine consciousness's might could also continuously grow stronger. Suddenly the phone rang. On the other end of the line was Do Fengyao's urgent voice. Her voice was slightly trembling as she said that she was possessed by a ghost and told Qin Mo to quickly come save her. At this moment, Do Fengyao curled up on the sofa in fear. It was not difficult to see the fear on her face. Fenggang must have seen something terrifying. Seeing Qin Mo coming, she kept begging and throwing herself into his arms, saying that the ghost was following her. Qin Mo did not doubt Do Fengyao's words. In her panic, her grandfather had told her. The world of yin and yang coexists with humans and ghosts. Therefore, he also taught her the Taoist art, which is the art of capturing ghosts. Qin Mo opened the video and swallowed with difficulty as he watched. Even though his current ghost body was a bit scared at this moment. In theory, cameras cannot capture images of ghosts. If one can capture the Tao, then there is only one possibility of ascending to the ghost realm, which is the Taoist ghost. Not a small ghost, but a local ghost as Feng Shui often says. Then Qin Mo hurriedly ordered to prepare the formation props. That was the only way to kill the demons.
Shinemo took several pieces of yellow paper from the living room table, told the servant to get a bottle of realgar wine, then poured the realgar wine onto the paper.
Demons, the first step is to light a fire.
The second step is to prepare lime powder. Lime powder can shape the body.
Make it never return to its original form.
Step 3, Shinemo paused for a moment and said unnaturally that it was his son's urine.
Now everything was ready.
The three people slowly trembled beside him, quietly waiting for the devil to appear. At this moment, the door handle was slightly exposed, following each stream of green energy, the door was slowly pushed open.
Shinemo then widened his eyes.
At this moment, he could not help but feel nervous.
The Yin family once said that even the current evil spirits cannot touch the object.
When this demon can open the door, the evil spirit will come. Once the evil spirit comes, it is extremely terrifying.
The demon not only entangled people but also wanted to take their lives. Shinemo brought 2 guards behind him.
Let them hold everything they had just prepared in their hands. Shinemo burned the yellow paper in his hand. He used the lightning strike to light the firewood next to the evil spirit.
The evil spirit couldn't help but feel angry.
At this moment, Shinmo's pupils wrinkled.
He didn't expect that the evil spirit could speak human language.
He immediately ordered the 2 men to pour down the lime powder that they had just prepared. 2 large buckets of lime were poured into the fire and it was instantly extinguished. Then the evil spirit turned white with lime everywhere.
The evil spirit choked and coughed.
This evil spirit has been around for 1,000 years.
At this moment, Shinemo roared, "Evil spirit! Today, I, Shinemo, will destroy you."
Speaking of his pupils, urine was like a fountain. At this moment, Liqui began to loudly beg for forgiveness, "Please don't do that." This sound made Do Fengyao extremely familiar. Recently, Vin Yuan had been madly pursuing him.
Then he hurriedly asked Vin Yuan what he was doing.
Vin Yuan heard that and immediately expressed that he wanted to pursue her. That was why he pretended to be a ghost to scare her. Seeing this, Dao Fuangdiu quickly ordered his servants to chase him back to Vin Mansion. Shinemo was speechless and tired from being busy for a while. At this time in Vin family's living room, Vin Fu looked at Vin Yuan whose body was full of wounds and tears fell down. Then he asked who made his son like this.
Vin Yuan was beaten and had no energy to speak.
Vin Fu could only hear a few scattered words chasing after her, "Qin Mo." Vin Fu instantly understood Nhi2's meaning. Vin Yuan was definitely pursuing Qin Mo. Qin Mo did not agree to him, that's why he turned out like this. Vin Fu also knew for the first time that Nhi2 liked this type. His heart secretly vowed to accept Vin Yuan's pursuit. At this time, Shinemo went out and saw the 2 people's furious looks. Do Fengyao asked Shinemo like a tiger stalking a threat what that person was to him. Hearing this, Bai Yueran immediately began to declare his sovereignty. He affirmed that his relationship with Shinemo was not normal. After hearing that, Dao Fuangdiu coldly snorted.
So what if it's not normal?
I slept in the same bed with him. This momentarily made Bai Yueran angry and said in a low voice.
Shinemo took off all my clothes and looked at them.
He saw everything on my body. Do Fengyao, who stood up from the ground, had already lost his mind a bit. He was really scratching at Bai Yueran. What was there to brag about?
Shinemo had once peeked at me peeing because he was very embarrassed at the moment.
At this moment, Shinemo, Bai Yueran, and Do Fengyao looked at each other.
This matter seemed to be nothing to brag about.
After saying that, Dao Fuangdiu realized that he had said something wrong. Then, embarrassed, he raised both hands to cover his mouth.
Then he kicked the 2 people out.
The scene changed tonight. Shinemo was alone on his way home.
The people sent by Rongfu to attack were not waiting in the dark for an opportunity to make a move. It was also discovered that Shinemo was a powerless college entrance exam candidate.
But he was very evil, so it was better for others to be careful. A second later, a group of people wearing protective gear suddenly appeared. In front of him was something in his hand. A piece of white chalk was thrown out.
During the time Shinemo was choking and coughing, this group of people had already surrounded him.
At this time, the leader told Shinemo that he was an idiot. If he didn't want to get hurt, he'd better come with us. Shinemo had broken through, so that anesthetic was nothing to him. He then looked at the clothes on their bodies. Then Shinemo immediately planned to counterattack and go straight into the crowd to see what tricks they were up to. Unexpectedly, young Master Vin Yuan likes this. We cannot understand the lives of the rich. Then he ordered the others to quickly bring the person back to Vin's house and hand him over to him. At this time at Vin Mansion, Vin Yuan learned that his father had personally taken action. He would definitely be able to help him bring Dao Fuangdiu back. His mind was already filled with the images after he and Dao Fuangdiu.
Not long after, he saw his father bringing someone back, making him overjoyed.
Son, look what surprise your father has brought you. At this moment, he could no longer contain the joy in his heart and started to laugh out loud. Not long after, Vin Yuan saw his father bring Qin Mo and was so scared that he was speechless. At this moment, Vin Fu saw his son was so agitated that he was speechless. He quickly told his men to put Qin Mo on the bed. Then he went to the bed and said in a low voice, "Your father didn't just tie you up. And he invited some lubricant experts to help you play tonight." When leaving, Vin Fu also ordered the servants that no matter what movement happened in the room tonight, they were not to open the door to disturb. Then he looked at Vin Yuan with a loving face and said, "Have fun tonight, son." Qin Mo lay on the bed almost laughing out loud. Vin Yuan beside him was crying silently. The moment the door closed, Qin Mo picked up the props beside him. Qin Mo looked at Vin Yuan with arrogant eyes and kept making grunting sounds. "Then let's have some fun." Although there were indescribable screams in the room, the guards all thought that the young master really knew how to play. This sound had reached a certain stage. Having played enough, Qin Mo immediately sneaked out the window. The second day when everyone from Vin's mansion entered the room, Vin Yuan was knocked unconscious and tied to the bed. Only heard Vin Yuan's extremely small breathing tremblingly saying Qin Mo is a devil. Vin Fu was so angry that he trembled. He continuously hugged his precious son to his chest. At this time in the laboratory of Qingjing University, Shi Lu received orders from his superiors. He told his assistants number 0, number 2, and number 3 to assassinate Qin Mo. This person in order was the headquarters of Tianmen. Number 3, number 9, and number 13. They are famous in the assassin rankings. If they were willing to cooperate together, wouldn't Qin Mo be dead for sure? But Qin Mo had shown kindness to Shi Lu. This inevitably made him feel awkward. At this time, Shi Lu heard Qin Mo and Commander Su talking on the side. Commander Su was urgently saying that we received inside information. The Tianmen headquarters sent several assassins to Yenyang to assassinate you. Some of these people have even assassinated important figures of the internation. Qin Mo heard this and immediately replied, "Thank you Commander Su for reminding him." With that, Qin Mo hung up the phone, his expression darkening. After listening to the whole process, Shi Lu was instantly shocked. Qin Mo wouldn't know that I was an assassin who came to assassinate him. A moment later, Qin Mo called out, "Teacher." Shi Lu was frightened and her body began to tremble. Then Qin Mo said that tomorrow night I will prepare a few graves for you on a distant hill. Shi Lu was so scared that his jaw dropped when he heard that. "Qin Mo, you even thought about where to bury me?" At this moment, 3 dark figures gradually appeared on the roof of Qin Mo's dormitory. The 3 of them were talking and laughing above, waiting for Qin Mo to appear. The superiors actually spent a large sum of money to invite us to kill a university professor. It was truly a mountain to climb. Some people decided to hunt him down like a wild animal. Let Qin Mo die slowly in excruciating pain. When they saw Qin Mo coming, the 2 of them instantly jumped down from top to bottom. Silently and without a sound, they walked to Qin Mo's side. At this moment, a person fell on a pile of rocks. Qin Mo also felt the movement and immediately opened his divine sense. After Qin Mo knew the location of the enemy, he said, "Since we're here, let's attack." A voice came from the street lamp. I didn't think that the Chinese pigs were that stupid. This hunt seemed interesting. Hearing the 2 words Chinese pig, Qin Mo suddenly became serious. The man next to him took the opportunity to mock him, saying that pigs could still get angry. How interesting. Then the 2 of them raised their heads to the sky and screamed. No matter how angry a pig is, it's just a powerless rage. Killing you is as easy as stepping on an ant. A second later, 2 leaves were seen hitting the 2 people at an extremely fast speed, pushing them back several meters on the spot. Seeing that, the person upstairs quickly reminded them to stop playing. Hurry up and kill them. At this moment, the 3 people quickly attacked Qin Mo at the same time. The spiritual energy in front of Qin Mo quickly condensed. It formed a solid wall in front of him. With a loud rumble, spiritual power instantly exploded. Another fell to the ground and died. Qin Mo's explosive power far and wide awakened their awareness. Looking at Qin Mo's berserk state, the 2 of them were so scared that their bodies emitted continuous force and retreated backwards. Qin Mo pointed at the 2 people again and solemnly said, "I will ask again." Seeing this, the 2 men quickly knelt down on the ground and said, "The Chinese are gods, and we are pigs. Please, gods, forgive us and let us live." Qin Mo also wouldn't be used to insulting the Chinese. Lian used his spiritual power to start condensing on the headworm. He revealed a fierce, demonic expression as he looked at the 2 of them. "Today, God grants you death." On the mountain at this time, Shi Lu had finished digging the grave and was silently grieving. The scenery here was very beautiful. After burying Qin Mo, he could come here every day.
Then a familiar voice rang out from afar. "Sure Lu, what are you doing there? Come here and help me." Qin Mo carried the 3 assassins' bodies and walked over, panting. Sure Lu was shocked when he saw this. This person actually killed all 3 assassins from the Heavenly Gate. Moreover, he was not injured in any way. Then Sure Lu knelt on the ground and continuously worshipped. "Teacher Qin, from now on you are my master. Whatever you say, I will listen. If I violate anything, I will be punished by the lightning." Qin Mo saw that and had a confused expression, so he reluctantly agreed to him. After finishing the job, he was arranged to be Noyet Nin's bodyguard. Hearing that, Su Lo also proudly agreed. In Mexican territory a few days later, the Heavenly Gate assassins had an emergency meeting because of Qin Mo's matter. The Heavenly Gate searching elder took out Qin Mo's photo and said, "A few days ago, MIHWA's FBA gave us an assassination mission. I sent number 0, number 9, and number 13 to carry it out. As a result, all the members died." Everyone trembled when they heard this. After all, the number 0 had never failed. How could it be defeated by a small furry creature? Then the elder angrily slammed the table and stood up. "Because the FBA reward this time is $500 million. But if we fail to complete the mission, we will have to pay 10 times the compensation." Hearing this, the scene immediately fell silent. The elder was so angry that his veins popped out. Whoever goes to deal with him will receive a great reward. Only saw a person wave his sleeve and said, "Elder Tien, what happened in my Asia, just leave it to me." This person came from Tianmon headquarters, Mexico, people called that Song. Scene change. Qin Mo suddenly received a call from Kong Ran. The other party seemed to be because of the previous pill incident. Today he purposely held a party and personally apologized to Mr. Qin. Not long after, Qin Mo went downstairs to Cat Van alone. He also didn't know if Kang Van Nien was sincere this time. When Kong Ran saw Qin Mo, he immediately pretended to be spreading rumors. "Mr. Qin, you personally came, which makes me very honored. Next to me is Director Sun's third brother, Sun Dawei. He has long admired Mr. Qin's reputation and has always wanted to see his face." Qin Mo looked at everyone's familiar appearance. Then he waved his hand to show that there was no need to be polite and went straight to the point. On the table, although Qin Mo did not pay attention to Kong Ran respectfully apologized to Qin Mo without leaving his words. He did not leave Mr. Qin without saying those 2 words. This made Qin Mo doubt whether his intuition was wrong or not. Could it be that Kong Ran was truly sincere at this moment? Seeing his appearance, Qin Mo also changed his previous cold attitude. That meant that the previous matters could be forgotten. But if it happens again, just apologize for a glass of wine. After eating his fill, Qin Mo returned to the dormitory. When he opened the door, he saw Bai Su Shui unconscious and injured at the door. The house was also in a state of chaos. Qin Mo hurriedly hugged Bai Su Shui on the ground. Fortunately, Teacher Bai's stomach was only injured by the palm technique. His life was not in danger for the time being. The bottle that was originally filled with body-strengthening pills was smashed. The pills inside disappeared without a trace. Qin Mo was so woken up that he gnashed his teeth. No wonder Kong Ran had to make amends before I could eat. Unexpectedly, during this time away from home, martial artists took the opportunity to rob him of his body-replenishing pills. In the Kang Ti Pharmaceutical Company that night, the entire DM Duon Tam Lu martial arts group gathered here. Master Hui Xin did not disappoint everyone's expectations and brought the body supplement pill here. Kong Family Pharmaceutical Family Head Kong Qin Mo looked overjoyed. Master did a great job. With this body supplement pill, our Kong family can research and produce a large quantity. At that time, we will produce the body supplement pill and change its name to Kong Wudan. This way, it will completely belong to the Kong family. The person in charge of this medicinal pill experiment was Sun Dawei. He was also the one who came up with this plan to make the tiger leave the mountain. Sun Dawei immediately became a famous figure in the Kongsher pharmaceutical industry. The company also gave him a Bentley as his car. At this time, Director Sun anxiously walked towards the main door. He said that Qin Mo suddenly wanted to come as a guest. He had to personally welcome Mr. Qin. Sun Dawei also had a sarcastic expression as he said to his third brother, "I'm not talking about you. Isn't it wrong to bring cats and dogs home? Isn't it better to focus on your career?" After saying that, he took out his profit key and showed it off in front of Director Sun. "Look at my second brother, he has now become the general manager of Kongsher's medicinal pills. The company even gave me such a luxurious car. Look at you, you call a country boy brother all day long. You even speak for him." Suddenly a gushing sound came from behind Sun Dawei. "Didn't you steal the pills from that hairy brat?"
Shin Mo heard that Sun Dawei was from the Sun family, so he tried to find him.
He didn't expect him to be here.
If you stole my pills, you have to pay the price.
Director Tun was immediately scared when he heard that.
At this time, Tun Dai 6 did not think that the matter would be revealed so quickly.
Then his expression immediately returned to normal.
He seriously pretended that he had never done such a thing.
You said I stole your elixir. Do you have any proof?
If I can't get it out, it will tarnish our Sun family. Hearing that, Director Tun hurriedly pulled his second brother and said, Second brother, if you really stole the pill, then quickly tell this immortal. Tun Dai 6 saw his third brother's helpless appearance and immediately pushed his hand away.
Even if I stole Qin Mo's pill, what could he do to me? This is my nephew's house.
Even if I lent him 100 guts, he wouldn't dare to do anything.
A second later, Qin Mo's arm drew a phantom image in the air.
He hit Sun Dawei in the face. At this moment, Sun Dawei's face was filled with fear. He didn't think that Qin Mo would actually dare to attack him in the Sun Mansion. Not waiting for Tun Dai 6 to react, Qin Mo's hand once again slapped him in the face.
Qin Mo originally intended to kill Sun Dawei.
But after all, he and Director Sun were relatives. When he came to Yin Yang, Director Sun also helped him a lot. So he gave him his life and told him to promise Qin Mo two things.
One is to get Qin Mo a blueprint of Kongsher Pharmaceutical Company. Second is to ask him if he knows Qin Yinan.
Sun Dawei evasively said that this Kongsher pharmaceutical industry blueprint was not a problem.
But another person did not know.
Qin Mo saw this and immediately punched Sun Dawei.
Sun Dawei could only helplessly explain. As for the person you asked me about, I don't dare recommend him.
But I know his wife has a loyal servant.
I can definitely ask more.
Qin Mo was momentarily stunned when he heard Sun Dawei mention his mother's servant. He originally thought he would learn something from him. But no matter how Qin Mo threatened Sun Dawei, he only knew these things. Come back and leave to prepare the drawing within 2 days. Sun Dawei's matter was resolved.
Next was Kong Jia's turn.
A few days later, at the headquarters of Kang Ti Pharmaceutical Company, all the big and small pharmaceutical merchants of DM Duong came to attend. Because this time Kang Ti Pharmaceutical Company researched and released, they could recruit the beauty supplement Kang Vu Dan. Furthermore, its effectiveness was even better than the body replenishing pill. During the previous medicinal banquet, a yellow dog that ate the body replenishing pill was able to completely crush a martial arts grandmaster.
The effectiveness of the Kongwu pill was obvious without needing to be said.
After hearing the introduction of the divine medicine, everyone here praised.
Kang Duokthan is truly a meritorious servant of DM Duong martial arts. Immediately someone raised a question.
Master Kang, the effectiveness of this pill is so great.
So, how much will this retail import price be?
Hearing him talk so much, everyone praised how good his medicine was.
Not to mention the price. The merchants couldn't help but start to get nervous. Kang Duokthan smiled and said that Kang Vu Dan would be at the city government a week later. The auction was held but with a premise.
Speaking of this, Kang Duokthan solemnly revealed the appearance of a good businessman. Therefore, Kang family importers absolutely cannot buy medicine from other companies. Everyone present heard this and their expressions immediately changed.
The Kang family wanted to monopolize the Yinyang pharmaceutical industry with a single pill. This also makes some small-scale pharmaceutical traders live like this. This idea was proposed by General Manager Kong Wu Dan and Sun Dawei. At this moment, he was still feeling complacent. The Kang family was Sun Dawei's assistant. They would definitely become the top pharmaceutical company in Yinyang.
The map Qin Mo received was also the fake map that Sun Dawei gave him.
Qin Mo followed the map's instructions and fell into his trap.
Thinking of this, his face instantly distorted, unable to contain the joy in his heart.
But what kind of person is Qin Mo? How could he fall into the same hole twice? He was also prepared to make a move.
A few days later, in the Kongsher pharmaceutical industry, Qin Mo disguised himself as a beautiful person and openly walked around the company with Bai Yuran. The employees beside him all bowed their heads in greeting.
According to Tun Daibai's drawing, Kang Jia's medicine warehouse is on the 10th floor.
Outside the elevator on the 7th floor, a group of black-clothed bodyguards were waiting with guns in their hands.
They were waiting for Qin Mo to come out of the elevator. The moment the elevator door opened, the black-clothed bodyguards were stunned.
The leader's eyes were about to drop from fear. He hurriedly ordered the bodyguards to put down the guns in their hands. After turning around, he immediately had a charming face.
Young master, rest assured, Kang Vu Dan has been stored in the safest place in the medicine warehouse.
This side is ready to wait for that brat Qin Mo to come and capture him. Hearing this, Qin Mo's eyes became solemn. He didn't expect Sun Dawei to dare to play with him like this.
Luckily, he was prepared. So Qin Mo naturally went towards the medicine warehouse and said, "I'm going to the medicine warehouse. You guys handle this well, don't leave Qin Mo alone." Entering the medicine warehouse, the two went straight to a cabinet labeled auction. After taking Kang Vu Dan out, Bok Noyat Nin put down the candy that was deducted from her personal belongings. Before leaving, don't forget to rob the rare medicinal herbs warehouse. At this moment, the city government auction house was full of people. Everyone was waiting for Kang Duok then to appear with his Kang Vu Dan. With a loud bang, Kang Vu Dan appeared. Kang Vu Dan was like a beautiful woman. It was enough to make all the vendors here go crazy. A moment later, small carts were pushed in. I believe everyone knows the effectiveness of Kang Vu Dan. There are only 100 boxes of Kang Vu Dan here. Each box costs 1 million and everyone can bid freely. At this moment, a businessman raised a sign in front of 10 million. In a blink of an eye, the price increased 10 times, but it was not shocking at all. Some people felt it was low. The people here became more and more crazy. Kang Duok then couldn't stop laughing in his heart. He didn't expect that the price of the pill would be only a few tens of thousands. It was estimated that it could be sold for more than 1 billion. Suddenly, a voice came from behind the crowd. Nasun sect offered 200 million to buy the first Kang Vu Dan. A small box of Kongwu Dan can sell for $200 million. I still have over 90 boxes. If this continues, the Kong family can even control third-rate martial arts. Not long after, the auction of 100 boxes of Kang Vu Dan ended. Each and every Kang Vu Dan was distributed to everyone. Everyone carefully held it. Their eyes warmly looked at Kang Vu Dan as if it were a treasure. At this time, Kang Duok then stood up and said with a smile. Our Kang Vu Dan is considered a top-grade medicinal pill. When you eat, remember to eat the dregs too. As soon as the myth of the medicine ended, Sect Master Su stood up angrily. He held a yellow candy in his hand and shouted angrily. This is called a divine medicine? You dare to joke with me? Do you really want to die? Then everyone in the auction was stunned. They were at a loss for what to do due to this unexpected situation. Kang Duok then panicked and didn't know what to do. He quickly explained that it was definitely a mistake in the loading. Then he used Kang Ti and Don as a guarantee that Kang Vu Dan would definitely be given to everyone. Sect Master Su and his group also did not want to turn against Kang Yaoshan. If that happened, not only would they lose the medicinal pills, but it could also cause an uproar in the entire city. Sect Master Su waved his hand and took everyone away from the scene. Kang Duok then slowly breathed a sigh of relief. His face was tearful as he expressed that he must find out what the situation was. Kang Duok then with a gloomy expression brought a group of people to the 17th floor. He angrily asked the security team leader who entered the medicine warehouse today. The captain of the bodyguard team swallowed his saliva in fear. He looked at Kang Van Nien and said that he was the young Master Kang and his girlfriend. They had already left the medicine warehouse. Kang Duok then's eyes immediately looked towards Kang Van Nien. Hurry up and explain. At this moment, Qin Mo directly admitted on the spot. Yes, I did. Everyone present was shocked when they heard this. Young Master Kang, what the hell is going on? Qin Mo calmly said that there was also Sun Dawei. He was my accomplice. He came up with the idea of stealing the Kangwu pill. After saying that, Tundai Six was so scared that he kept waving his hand at Kang family had to calm down. I really don't know anything about this. Kang Duok then of course would not believe what outsiders said and immediately fired him. Then he looked fiercely at his nephew and said. And you too, quickly give me Kang Vu Dan and I will pretend nothing happened. Hearing that, Qin Mo coldly laughed on the spot. What are you dreaming about? Then in front of everyone, he slapped Kang Duok then hard in the face. Everyone was stunned when they saw this situation. Was Kong Wan Ran crazy? He dared to hit his grandfather? Kang Duok then Kai's whole body trembled. He threatened again, saying that if you don't hand over the Kang Vu Dan, I will have to sever our grandchild relationship. Qin Mo also did not care and made a smile at him, thinking to himself. What does it have to do with me, Qin Mo, if you and Kong Wan Ran cut off relations? Kang Yaoshan was so angry that he fainted on the spot. Sect Master Huck immediately sent people to follow Kang Duok then. He could not give up, Kang Vu Dan still needed him to produce. At this moment, in a large city government auction house, Kang Wanran was shackled and cowering on the ground, continuously making noises. He secretly swore in his heart that after he went out, he would definitely cut Qin Mo into 8 pieces. At this moment, outside the door, they seemed to hear sounds coming from inside. They saw that the person lying on the ground was the young master of the Kang family in an instant. Wasn't the young master just outside arguing with the family head? Why was he tied up here? Then from Kang Van Nien's mouth, he heard the desire to untie him. After untying himself,
Kang Won-ran hurriedly asked where the auction was taking place. The bodyguard calmly replied that the auction had ended a long time ago.
Didn't you just fight with that old man? Kang Won-ran couldn't care less and quickly went to find his grandfather.
Grandpa had said before that after the auction ended, he would ask martial artists to help capture Chin Mo. It had ended so early, something must have happened. At the corner of the hallway, Tundai 6 was muttering non-stop, "It's over.
It's really over."
The moment he saw Kang Van Nien, the anger in his heart immediately erupted.
Then he hit Kang Van Nien on the head. "Why did you harm me, Kang Van Nien?"
Then his fists were like raindrops, each punch hitting his head hard.
"Sun Dawei, are you crazy? You dare to hit me?
Look clearly, I am the young master of the Kong family." Hearing that, Tundai 6 gritted his teeth in anger.
"The moment you, Kang Van Nien, stole the Kang Vu Dan, you were no longer the young master of the Kang family.
Not only did you seek your own death, but you also caused me to be transferred to another job by the Kang family."
Kang Won-ran's expression was vague as he said, "When the auction started, I was tied up by Chin Mo. I was just rescued by the bodyguards."
Seeing this, Tundai Vai's heart trembled.
"You were tied up before. So who was participating in the auction this morning?"
"It was Chin Mo. He didn't believe the map I gave him was real from the start. After being tied up, he impersonated me to steal the Kangwu pill. All of this was a conspiracy. No wonder everyone couldn't see Chin Mo's body from beginning to end. It turned out he had a plan all along." Then he made a solemn vow in his heart and said, "Young master, I already have a plan to get revenge." Scene change, Sun Dawei, in order to take revenge on Chin Mo, made another plan. He licked his face and found Chin Mo again. It means that he was like this because of his haunted heart. He cried and begged for forgiveness from his mother, and Chin Mo might forgive him. If he didn't agree, he would stay and work at the Bai Corporation.
Until Chin Mo forgives him.
This was the first step in his plan. Stay at the Bai Yuran store. The second step is to cooperate with the Crown Prince Vin Yuan of Vin T Financial Group. Previously, Vin Yuan suffered humiliation because of Chin Mo. He could never erase it from his heart for the rest of his life.
Vin Yuan appeared and immediately expressed his willingness to invest 5 billion in Bak T Pharmaceutical.
Tundai 6 apologized.
Then Vin Yuan invested again. Chin Mo thought to himself that there must be something fishy going on here.
So he resorted to countermeasures.
Chin Mo told the two that he had been wanting to go out for the past few days.
If the Vin family is willing to invest in the pharmaceutical industry, then he would like to trouble the two of them for the time being. This is the second step in both of their plans.
After investing, Vin Yuan regained Chin Mo's trust.
Before leaving, Chin Mo told Shirlu, "I received an invitation from the Yenyang military region. During my absence, if anything happens, please call me immediately." Chin Mo knew that the only way these two mice would have a chance to cause trouble was if he left the store.
By then, they could all be captured.
On the second day, Special Forces member Do Di personally led the honor guard out to welcome Chin Mo after he learned that Chin Mo had arrived. Because in his eyes, Chin Mo was not only the developer of Qin Shenhuan. He was also his idol. Even though he was his idol, he had never met Chin Mo. He also did not know what Chin Mo looked like. Do Di secretly thought if he could take this opportunity to get his idol's praise. At this moment, a Lamborghini drove over from afar. Do Di's face was filled with anticipation. But after seeing clearly that the person who came was Chin Mo, Do Di's expression instantly fell.
"Why him? Isn't he my sister's bodyguard? Just a stinking brat from Huahai.
I wonder what kind of medicine he gave my sister." Seeing this, Do Di immediately went up to stop Chin Mo. "We can't let that brat enter this area. It won't be good if he bumps into our idol. So find a reason for Chin Mo to get out of the car to check. Recently, foreign agents have infiltrated the military region. Please cooperate with our investigation."
Chin Mo reluctantly went down and said, "Why didn't Commander Hua tell me about this?"
A second later, he took off his hood and covered his head again. "In this case, please cooperate." Do Di looked at Chin Mo's lazy and absent-minded appearance with a look of disdain.
"How can he protect my sister Fengyao like this? Follow me, I will take you to the investigation room." The more Do Di thought about it, the angrier he became. It was so hard to line up.
We can't let Chin Mo affect our reputation in the hearts of our idols. Then Do Di pushed Chin Mo into a prison cell. Then he told him to just wait here.
Chin Mo took off his hood and looked at the people in front of him with a confused expression. It didn't look like an investigation room. That soldier wouldn't be fooling me, right? Several people looked at Chin Mo with evil looks on their faces.
It seemed like they could enjoy themselves tonight. At this time, in front of the gate, Do Di brought a group of honor guards and waited for a long time but still did not see Chin Mo's figure. So he decided to go ask Commander Duyan what happened. At this time in the general's room, General Duyan secretly showed off his calligraphy. His realm had improved quite a bit. The next second, only Dodi's deafening report could be heard coming from outside the door. The captain was so scared that he immediately lost interest. The ink in his hand was also splattered everywhere.
What the hell is going on? Say it.
Commander, we have been waiting at the gate for a long time but have not seen the important person you mentioned.
I have not seen him.
So I am afraid of missing him. Please give me a picture of that big guy. After Dodi saw the image of that big character, his face turned ashen. In a flash, his eyes were so shocked that they almost fell out.
A second later rushed into prison. Regret filled my heart. He is so powerful, why does he have to hide his identity as my sister's bodyguard? He really will kill me. The moment the prison door opened,
I saw that the other prisoners had large bumps on their heads. All of them were respectful to Qin Mo at this time, and even gave him a massage. Seeing Dodi, Qin Mo immediately looked at him.
How is it? Are there any results from the investigation?
At this moment, Dodi bowed his head and admitted his mistake. Actually, there was no investigation. Please, follow me back to the military district.
Qin Mo heard that and said, if you let me in, then let me in. If you let me out, what will happen to me? Is there such a good thing in this world?
Seeing this, Dodi was so anxious that tears fell down.
Come with me, please give my sister some face. Qin Mo also silently said, do I know you? How do I know which sister you are talking about? Instructor Qin, I am Do Fengyao's older brother.
Just finished speaking, the current commander received the news and ran over very worriedly.
Dodi, you dare to personally put the Qin officer in prison.
I declare that from today onwards, Dodi, from the Liren squad, is expelled from the military. The scene changes to nightfall, the Yenyang base of the Liren army. The other members were very dissatisfied with the actions of Commander Duyan.
Commander Duyan, this matter is not that important.
Committing such a small mistake and immediately being dismissed from the military. At this moment, Dodi's heart was also filled with resentment.
If Qin Mo hadn't hidden his identity, he wouldn't have fallen into this situation.
Then he told everyone the purpose of Qin Mo's trip.
Don't you know?
That's the reason the military district invited that brat here. It was to arrange a general instructor for Li Ren and guide us.
Everyone immediately frowned upon hearing this. A hairy brat from the Yenyang region. What right does he have to lead us?
While everyone was arguing, the deputy Captain Chu Hu of the Liren army shouted loudly.
What a fuss! How could Yenyang Liren let that brat command him? Tomorrow we will show off our power and take him down.
Qin Mo was invited by the commander-in-chief to come face to face with the purpose of mass-producing Tan Then Hon pills. Qin Mo said that the Qingshan pill was different from ordinary pills. It was refined by himself through special methods. If mass-produced, he would not be able to make it himself. Then he brought out an improved medicine suitable for military production. But it was a bit weaker than the original medicine. Seeing this, the military commander immediately thanked him. The matter of the elixir was over. Now it was time to discuss business. Then, take Qin Mo to the base of the Special Forces Team Liren. Liren is the most powerful Special Forces team in China. It is also a special force of the United Nations. Yesterday morning, the Loinan team was informed. All members came to welcome Qin Mo. Now the base is empty. The military commander was instantly angry and hurriedly asked Long Thuan Hu what was going on. What about the person I asked him to arrange yesterday? At this moment, Qin Mo suddenly felt something.
Commander Duyan, don't ask anymore.
They're here.
With that, a helicopter and heavy tank appeared before everyone.
Chu Hu stood in the middle of them and shouted loudly. I heard that this time, Sect Master Qin wants to lead our Liren army. Today, I will give Sect Master Qin a chance to show his strength.
Qin Mo's face turned black. Who said I wanted to be the head coach of Liren?
Instructor Qin, our team member, is also one of the top 2 experts. At the very least, he is a martial arts grandmaster.
As long as you can win against 5 people, you will be allowed to take the position of chief instructor. Qin Mo said with a blank expression, you guys are also bored.
Bored?
I see you're scared, right?
After all, our 100-year-long run is the face of the Chinese military. A small Chinese general church can only teach a bunch of useless, wolf-toothed people. Seeing this, Dodi secretly rejoiced in his heart. It seemed that this Qin Mo was nothing more than a coward. In front of Captain Chu, he didn't even dare to fart. The military commander spoke up at this moment.
Chu Hu, watch your words. Instructor Qin is after all. Before he could finish speaking, Qin Mo interrupted him. Do you know why I said you guys are bored?
Because you guys are nothing in Qin Mo's eyes, not even as good as ants. Hearing this, the people present also stopped in place. Alright, Li Rin is not considered a card of the Huaxia army. Qin Mo's words couldn't help but be a little too tense. In a flash, Chu Hu got angry and said that Qin Gai wanted to die. The brothers taught him a lesson. Hearing that, Qin Mo just waved his hand and calmly said everything. After saying that, the team members held knives and charged towards Qin Mo. However, facing their attacks, Qin Mo could only use his agile movements to dodge. Seeing this, Do Di immediately sent a message. Coach Qin, you should fight back. If we open fire later, you won't even have a chance to struggle. The general also did not want the situation to become tense. He hastily ordered Chu Ho and his men not to fire. Chu Ho also had a disdainful expression. Rest assured, Commander. This brat is not worth using a gun against. The commander thinks too highly of him. I will prove that he cried and begged for forgiveness. While speaking, Qin Mo had already left everyone behind. Only Qin Mo could be seen turning his head to look at the people chasing behind. He now revealed a smile that was not easily detected. Qin Mo suddenly stopped in his tracks. Faced with the combined efforts of two people, Qin Mo also treated them like monkeys playing around, easily avoiding the attacks of many people. A second later, everyone was left far behind. At this moment, Dao Dike realized something was wrong. He was also a bodyguard of the Dao family, so he couldn't just run away. At this time, everyone was also physically exhausted by Qin Mo's test and gasped. Qin Mo, who was far away, spoke calmly as if nothing had happened. How is it, are you guys tired? Is that all? Team member Loi Nan heard this and was instantly stunned by anger. He naturally ignored what Commander Duyan had just said. I'll see how you can dodge the bullets. After saying that, several people took out their pistols and fired at Qin Mo. After a series of gunshots, the birds in the forest were immediately startled. The scene left only a trail of bright red blood. Qin Mo was nowhere to be seen. Seeing this, Do Di couldn't help but feel happy in his heart. Qin Mo was finally dead. Chu Hu faced the questioning of Commander Duyan and said that what had happened had already happened. He said that it was an accident. None of us were responsible. It could be seen that the influence of the Special Forces Team Loi Nan and DM Duong was very strong. Even Commander Duyan had to give him some face. As the group began searching for Qin Mo's body, a voice came from above. Thank you everyone for the food. Great shooting. Consider these ducks as my return gift. No one expected that the things he used just now were actually wild ducks. He didn't just use the bullets and lead us to hunt birds. So it can be seen that Qin Mo's abilities are truly terrifying. Qin Mo swaggered among the members of the Li Rin team. Do Di was so angry that Qin Mo had nothing to cover himself up. Let me see where you can run to. Qin Mo only saw him coldly smile and say, that's your problem, right? A second later, everyone still had not reacted. Their faces were already full of feathers from the duck just now. Qin Mo said calmly, while shaving the feathers of your wild duck. The scene before his eyes made Commander Duyan instantly terrified. Quickly report this to Commander Tu Feng. At this time on Tiger Tower in the outskirts of Yinyang. An officer rushed in, panting with a frightened expression. Team member Li Rin relayed the news to Commander Duyan. When Instructor Qin visited the Li Rin base in the Yinyang military region. He had not finished his sentence when he was interrupted by the two people's words. Coach Tan was taught a lesson by Li Rin. No wonder he disliked it the most when he was undermining the authority of a new coach. The officer heard this and immediately said loudly that it was not like that. Instead, it was Coach Qin Mo who defeated the Li Rin army alone. Hearing this, I feel like something is going to happen tonight. Immediately bring the important people to the Li Rin base to find Qin Mo. At this moment, in the training ground of the Li Rin base, all the team members were knocked down to the ground by Qin Mo, one by one. At this moment, a military jeep quickly charged towards Qin Mo. The person who came was the one who had returned from an international mission. The captain of the Loi Nan team, Deep Vu Lam. Captain, we can't block. Captain Shu doesn't need to say anything. I've seen it all. You're no match for that officer. Not long after, Deep Vu Lam arrived at Qin Mo's side. The Yenyang Qin family was one of the four great Yenyang families. I wonder if the Qin instructor had any relationship with the Qin family? Qin Mo listened with a bit of concern, then turned back and replied no. Hearing that Qin Mo had no relationship with the Qin family, Deep Vu Lam breathed a sigh of relief. This was also the first time Qin Mo had come to Yenyang and someone had proactively mentioned the Qin family. Qin Mo thought to himself, could it be that this instructor Yi had some knowledge of the Qin family? Yi Wulan's attitude immediately began to change. I'm telling you, as long as I, Yi Wulan, am here, there's no way to defeat an unknown person like you. Deep V Ulam, why are you talking to Instructor Tan like that? Tu Fong slowly walked over from behind. Also here is Secretary Hua. Qi Nemo suddenly felt uneasy. What did this yin-yang military region want to do? Commander Tu had thought it through on the way here. How could he attract such a powerful monster? Does Instructor Qin want to leave Langya to develop Li Run? Just need Instructor Qin to come. I will immediately ask my superiors to certify you as the head instructor. Give you the supreme authority of the Yin-Yang military region. No, I said it was great staying in Langna. Even though at that time Qin Nemo and Hua Hai had agreed to never leave Langya. Faced with such an attractive condition. In return, he would happily accept the promise of the commander. Commander Hua was momentarily flustered. If Langya doesn't have Qin Nemo, then we'll go together? Then Commander Tu added that as long as you agree, the command of Loinan, military reputation, and personal treatment will all be improved. Qin Nemo heard and directly refused Commander Tu. Qin Nemo, I just want to stay in Langna. And I don't care about power, money, fame. Anyway, when he was in Langya, he had many wonderful experiences and many bonds that were hard to break. After saying that, he left the scene. For Qin Nemo, the Qing Xinhuan prescription had been handed over to the Yin-Yang military region. This trip was considered over. Suddenly the phone rang. Sulu on the other end of the line shouted frantically. Mr. Tan, this morning Bok Noyed Nin went missing. Please come back quickly. Qin Nemo is the pinnacle of martial arts in Hua Hai. But there is someone who dares to cause trouble during a time when he should not be here. At the shop, the robber captured Qin Mo's beautiful disciple and even took possession of her body. Qin Nemo ran to the Baisher pharmaceutical branch very worriedly. It is said that Ving Yuan used his status as an investor to eliminate Bok Noyet Nin. All the employees inside were changed to his confidants. The entire pharmacy was controlled by Ving Yuan. Qin Mo's expression changed greatly after hearing this news. At this time, a bitter plan was being performed in the Bok Tea pharmacy. Tun Dai 6 learned about a foreign organization Tianman, the mysterious assassin, wanted to assassinate Qin Mo. Therefore, he personally devised this bitter plan to approach Qin Mo. As Qin Mo was about to arrive at the store, Rongyun's subordinates were insulting him. The store's restroom is short of people. Can I leave this job to you? Everyone's laughter filled the store. Your Vin family is ungrateful. Mr. Tan will definitely do it. Vice Director Tru, Vin Yuan's close friend, laughed and said, so what? Listen, his girlfriend is about to become Vin Young Master's person. Until now, there is still no sign of her. Do you think that kid will come back for her out of kindness? Finished speaking, they laughed together. It's a pity that these actors shouldn't be actors. Stop talking nonsense, old woman, get up and get to work. Don't hope that Qin Mo can come back. At this moment, the main door was opened wide. A black shadow slowly appeared before everyone's eyes. The pressure emitted from the person instantly alarmed everyone present. Qin Mo slowly walked towards Deputy Manager Zhao with an icy gaze. Sun Dawei was delighted to see this. Just in time, he would consider him as one of his own when he saw the scene. Then Sun Dawei cried and told Qin Mo, Mr. Qin, save me. They are really animals. A second later, a loud bang echoed throughout the store. Everyone present was stunned. Qin Mo only saw him step on Vice Director Tru's head. He looked at him indifferently and said, where did you lock Bok Noyet Nin up? At this time, Vice Director Tru can carry out the plan. He can only stubbornly pretend that he doesn't know. With the sound of bricks breaking on the ground, Vice President Tru's head fell directly. I give you one last chance. Where is my disciple Bok Noyet Nin now? Seeing this, everyone hurriedly told of Bai Yueran's whereabouts. If they had been a second slower, Vice Director Zhao's face would have been trampled by Qin Mo. On Monday evening, Qin Mo went to the place where Bai Yueran was tied up that the others had just provided. Unexpectedly, there was such abundant spiritual energy around the Tian Tun villa at the foot of the mountain. Qin Mo thought to himself that after saving Bok Noyet Nin, this villa can be considered as compensation for Vin Yuan. In the dark, the guards at the door mistook the person walking towards them for young Master Vin Yuan. They quickly smiled and welcomed him. Then Qin Mo pointed lightly and there was a loud bang. The two people's bodies fell straight to the ground. Bok Noyet Nin in the room heard the sound of the door and was immediately alert. She held the flower vase next to her in her hand, preparing to fight to the death with this old man. Just as Qin Mo poked his head in, a vase quickly came crashing down on him. Bai Yuran saw clearly that the person who came was Qin Mo. Only then did she come out of her nervous state of mind. She hurriedly leaned against Qin Mo's side.
Master, you're here, let's go quickly. At this moment, Qin Mo's eyes revealed a trace of killing intent. Don't leave yet. Vin Yuan treats you like this, I can't leave him alone. I will leave him a lesson for life. Qin Mo then told Bai Yuan his plan. At this moment, Vin Yuan limply walked to the front door of Tian Tun Villa. Qin Mo, you caused Lao Tzu to not be able to get Dao Fuangdu. Tonight Lao Tzu will kill your wife. Thinking of Bak Noyat Nin's perfect figure, Vin Yuan immediately revealed a lustful expression. Seeing that the bodyguards in front of the door had all gone somewhere, he couldn't care less and staggered towards the door. In a blink of an eye, the door opened and only saw Bak Noyat Nin, dressed coolly, sitting cross-legged on the bed. At this moment, Bak Noyat Nin pretended to be calm and lovely. The expression on her face was enough to prove that her acting was done well. Seeing this, Vin Yuan's nosebleed immediately spurted out. Little girl, tonight I must love you very much. Seeing Vin Yuan's infatuated appearance, Bak Noyat Nin immediately echoed. Young Master Vin. I've been waiting for you for a long time. I've always wanted to have a deep conversation with young Master Vin. Vin Yuan heard these words and was so happy that he almost died. He immediately got excited and rushed towards Bak Noyat Nin. Bak Noyat Nin saw this and quickly dodged to the side. Then she immediately took out a pill and said, after eating it, it will have a magical effect. This foolish Vin Yuan naturally wouldn't refuse this beauty before his eyes. Without saying a word, he accepted it and swallowed it directly. Why was he only taking out such a good thing now? Looking at the fish that had taken the bait, Bak Noyat Nin smiled evilly. Not long after the medicine started to take effect, Vin Yuan felt unwell. A second later, he only felt his head getting bigger and bigger along with the intense pain. Facing the sudden change, Vin Yuan was extremely scared. Bak Noyat Nin quickly took him to the hospital. Bak Noyat Nin sat on the bed with a smug smile. He did that to me and the fun is still ahead. After that, Bak Noyat Nin still took him to the operating room of DM Duong Hospital No. 2. Only the person who operated on him was Qin Mo. Seeing that his doctor in charge was Qin Mo, Vin Yuan's head cried even louder. Qin Mo innocently took out 2 contracts. Meaning just sign the contract and operate on him. Vin Yuan had a splitting headache and couldn't handle that much. Without even looking, he directly signed the contract and stamped his hand. Qin Mo saw this and instantly showed joy on his face. Because these 2 parts were, respectively, the shares of Baihe Pharmaceutical Company and Tianzuan. The transfer letter of Tianzuan Villa. After a while of injecting anesthesia, Vin Yuan instantly fell unconscious. At this moment, Qin Mo revealed an evil smile. When you wake up, you will see the surprise I have for you. After a few hours, Vin Yuan woke up to find his penis cut off by Qin Mo in a flash. The sky cried out loud. After hearing his son's cry, Vin Fu broke the door and entered. Looking at his son, he was heartbroken. While comforting Vin Yuan, she agreed to help him get justice. Then Vin Yuan told his father to destroy that bitch's pharmacy. Because I still hold the highest shares. We can kill them in minutes. A second later, a servant came in panic to report. That meant someone had sent copies of 2 contracts. The front side stated that the young master would transfer the shares of Bakhop Pharmaceutical Industry and the entire Tian Tun Villa to Bak Noyat Nin. At that moment, the 2 people were stunned. Vin Yuan completely did not remember such a thing happening. It was only when he saw his own handprint that he remembered. Before the surgery, Qin Mo had made him sign 2 contracts. But at that time, Vin Yuan didn't care much about it. He just wanted to do the surgery as soon as possible. Didn't expect that signing that contract would result in his valuables being gone. Furthermore, the shares in Villa were also gone. In a flash, a faint sound fell on the ground. Vin Fu was extremely angry when he saw this. Because that Villa was prepared for a grandmaster. He wanted to see if Qin Mo could take it but still live. Scene changed to the second day. Qin Mo brought Lu to the Dou family's house. Because he wanted to create a great spirit fox formation in the Tianzuan Villa. But need the divine flame stone as the eye of the array. So specially come to Dou family to ask a bit. In the living room of the Dou family. Facing Qin Mo's visit to the Dou family, they were also warmly welcomed. After hearing that Qin Mo wanted to find the Yenshan divine stone, the expression on his face immediately darkened. After that, it was advised that it was best not to touch this thing. The divine stone of Flame Mountain was something that was always coveted by the third-rate martial artist, Flame Yang. Whoever possessed this thing would be besieged by martial artists. Therefore, until now, no one dared to touch this thing. Dao Tu added, 10 years ago, there was a man named the Tsong in DM Duong. After taking away the divine stone, he escaped abroad and joined the Tianmon assassin group. Today, there is news that he has returned to DM Duong. Hearing this, Qin Mo's eyes lit up. It seemed that after finding him, obtaining the divine stone wouldn't be difficult. Finished speaking, the father and son of the Dou family were instantly startled and quickly waved their hands. Qin Xian, please don't go looking for him and don't blame me for speaking rudely. I'm afraid your strength is still far behind this person's. You absolutely cannot take the risk. Qin Mo said that it was not necessary to use force to take it and that there might be other ways. But Su Lu heard that Song wanted to go to DM Duong. In a flash, he was so nervous that he couldn't speak. He must have come to Yen Yang because of the failed assassination earlier. Everyone related to Qin Mo must die. After saying that, Crazy walked away saying we all have to die. Qin Mo looked at Shi Lu with this unexpected situation, looking puzzled. While leaving, I would like to thank Old Master Dou for his advice. But I must also get the Flame Mountain Divine Stone. The Dou family father and son side. Qin Mo's decisiveness was not known to be good or bad. Then a voice came from behind them. A figure slowly walked towards the two people. You guys should worry about yourself first. Qin Mo's supporters go down first and wait for him to leave. Qin Mo searched for a long time but still couldn't find Shi Lu's shadow. It was strange, after all, even if the people from Tianmen came to take revenge, they were looking for him, so why would he run away? At this moment, Sun Dawei worriedly ran towards Qin Mo. Qin Xian was in a bad situation, the Dou family had just been exterminated. When they arrived at the Dou family's house, they only saw Dou Fengyao standing in the ruins, bewildered. Qin Mo immediately stepped forward to ask who did it, and Dou Fengyao weakly said it was Tianmen Qigong. He let me live and wanted me to tell you. Whoever offended the heavenly gate must have everyone around him die. Tomorrow it will be Qin Mo's turn. Hearing this, Qin Mo's expression began to become solemn. Meanwhile, Sun Dawei, who was behind him, did not say a word. Because he had received the news very early. He had already submitted to Qi Gong. Now he was waiting for the right moment to attack Qin Mo. Qin Mo held the weak and unbearable Dou Fengyao and said solemnly. Call Chen Wan and the others to come to the villa and bring Naichou along. From now on, you all must stay by my side and never leave me. Sun Dawei couldn't help but feel happy when he saw Qin Mo like this. It's useless to leave him alone. If the last secret plan failed, then this time you will die. The people who heard Qin Mo's request to bring Nai Ka were very confused. Even if that Song was crazy, he wouldn't kill a dog. Qin Mo said that Naichou came to help. That Song had the Yenshan Shinshur in his hand. He himself was not sure if he was his opponent. But the spiritual energy here was very abundant. Perhaps it could stimulate Naichou's holy beast bloodline to help. Tuyao said to Qin Mo, Naichou is just a dog. Let him help you, we might as well run away quickly. Qin Mo stared at Nai Ka and said he couldn't escape. Now he could only hope that Nai Ka could show some promise. At this moment, Tun Dai 6 quickly walked towards Qin Mo and ran over. Mr. Tan, that Song guy has arrived. Moreover, he brought Vin Yuan and Tuesday Tam Dai Su along. Qin Mo patted Sun Dawei on the shoulder and told him to go to the back to protect everyone, leaving the rest to him. Before he finished speaking, wisps of smoke billowed out in front of Qin Mo. At this moment, Tun Dai 6 finally revealed his true face. In front of the enemy, I will not help anyone. Now that you have been poisoned by my smoke, I will see how you will survive later. Qin Mo looked at Sun Dawei with a face full of anger. Moreover, he also started to become nervous. A second later, Qin Mo waved his hand. In an instant, he sent Sun Dawei flying against the wall. Then he started coughing because of the smell of toxic smoke. Bai Yuan couldn't help but start worrying about Qin Mo. Qin Mo seemed to think that this bit of poisonous smoke wouldn't have much effect on him. He just needed some time to use his spiritual power to force the poison out. At this moment, that Song pushed Su Lo, who was almost dead, slowly in. You are the Qin Mo who shook the Yen-Yang. It seems that is all. Qin Mo looked at Shi Lu excitedly and let go of Qi Gong. That Song heard that and smiled faintly, saying that he could release the person. But in return, he would take your life. Vin Yuan was overjoyed at this moment. Qin Mo, you dare to anger that Song, you are dead for sure this time. My grudge has been avenged. In the far corner, Kang Van Nien held a camera to take a picture of this scene. He wanted to record the process of Qin Mo being instantly killed by that Song and post it online. To make Qin Mo become the laughingstock of the whole country. If he hadn't given me the medicine, I wouldn't have become like this and I wouldn't have lost it. Then he quickly went to Bak Noyet Nien behind and caught her. That Song, let me help you. Qin Mo was caught off guard by the unexpected situation behind him. That Song took the opportunity to jump towards Qin Mo. In a flash, he arrived in front of Qin Mo and said, Qin Mo, you lost. Seeing this, Master Tuesday Tom exclaimed in his heart, is this the power of the Great Dipper? It's truly terrifying. I'm afraid Qin Nemo won't be able to leave any bones behind from this blow.
At this time, Qin Nemo still needed a minute to eliminate the toxic smoke and toxicity. There was no other way. At this moment, Qin Nemo opened his divine sense. His body instantly underwent a huge change. That Song's movements from here on were as slow as a turtle. Therefore, Qin Nemo was easily able to receive such a terrifying punch from him.
You just said who wants to lose. Qin Nemo took the opportunity to attack. That punch instantly threw that Song out. Seeing this, everyone was immediately terrified. How could this be possible? Wasn't it Qin Nemo who was instantly killed?
At this moment, that Song was slammed into the wall by Qin Nemo. Because of that, the wall was left with broken marks.
Is Taekwondo martial arts that weak? One punch knocked me out, that's not right.
At this moment, that Song immediately stood up.
Do you think one punch can defeat me? It's not even enough to scratch an itch.
Compared to that time, the poison from the poisonous smoke in Qin Mo's body had already been excreted. At this moment, that Song smiled and closed his palms.
Let me let you taste this move.
Immediately after that, a golden light energy ball was born from the pregnant hand.
Not long after, the time orb energy quickly attacked Qin Nemo, creating an extremely powerful wave of energy. That Song at this time indifferently smiled and said, Qin Nemo, I have to say that even if you let Dudong go, you are still a unique natural male prodigy. The Great China finds it difficult to produce a genius like you. But today, that Song, will destroy the genius again and again.
This enormous destructive force inevitably caused Master Tuesday Tom to quickly leave.
This was that Song's soul-destroying cannon.
According to legend, this was a super lethal secret that he had only used twice in his life. To this day, no one can match it.
Qin Nemo, facing a terrifying attack, suddenly felt something was wrong.
Kang Van Nien, who was standing next to him, also risked his life to take this so-called memorial photo for Qin Mo. At this moment, Qin Nemo suddenly felt the force of the attack clearly lessen. But when Qin Nemo looked up, a giant claw appeared above him.
Yama Phoenix Palm.
As this palm descends,
Qin Mo's pupils contracted.
His face began to resemble a monkey's. Today, he was facing a powerful opponent. It was obvious that he was a bit helpless. When the Phoenix Palm of Hell fell, the mountain range shook. The two giant boulders collapsed with a loud bang, pressing Qin Nemo down. At this moment, Tuesday Tom's face couldn't help but be filled with joy. Luckily, he ran quickly, otherwise he would have been seriously injured if he didn't die. Qin Nemo was struck down by this palm strike. Even if a god came, it would be difficult to save him. Vin Yuan also revealed a happy smile at this moment. The dream demon that had been haunting their hearts had finally died. But as everyone left, a familiar voice came from the swirling golden dust.
Everyone was happy too soon.
These words were like a bolt of lightning striking into everyone's hearts. In the pile of rocks, only a tall figure could be seen slowly standing up. Not only was Qin Mo not dead, he did not even have a single injury on his body.
Sun Dawei looked at Qin Nemo in disbelief.
Impossible, he was clearly hit by my poisonous smoke.
How could he have absorbed the Phoenix Palm of the 7th Duke? Grandmaster Tuesday Tom immediately understood after hearing this.
The poisonous smoke belonged to the element of cold, which suppresses fire. When the detoxification balloon was opened, it could counteract the spiritual energy of the 7 Dukes of Hell's Phoenix Palm. Therefore, the young man not only completed the detoxification in an instant, but also neutralized the 7 Dukes' palm force. At this moment, Qin Nemo threw the giant rock he had just carried on his shoulder towards that Song. That Song felt that it was not good to see the situation. This kid absorbed the power of the Phoenix Palm and poured it into the giant rock. A second later, that Song's protective metal object stood 1 meter in front of him. The two forces collided together and suddenly emitted a loud sound. At this moment, Naika witnessed Qin Mo being safe and sound. Excitedly, he barked at the side. The Great Dipper of Yen-Yang martial arts is indeed worthy of its reputation. As he raised his hand, he immediately shattered the giant rock that had just been poured into the Phoenix Palm force of Yen Luo. At this moment, Qin Mo suddenly rushed towards that Song with a thunderous momentum. Punches rained down on that Song. Qin Mo's words came from behind Shi Gong.
With a loud bang, the surrounding rocks were shaken and cracked. Shi Gong fell heavily to the ground. This palm strike was to return the favor to the Dou family. That Song was already scared stiff by Qin Mo. He looked at Qin Mo in fear and said, "Qin Mo, let me go. I promise I will never return to China." Qin Mo coldly snorted, "Let me go. What about the dozens of lives of the Dou family? What do you think about Shi Lu's limbs?" Hearing this, that Song's eyes began to turn cold. "Qin Mo, I don't want to die with you. A few human lives are nothing compared to my level and yours." Hearing that, Qin Mo coldly looked at him and said, Do you think your life is worth that much? You killed an innocent person like that, do you think I can forgive you? With that Song's face gradually turned like a monkey's. If that was the case, then no one here would survive today. Then that Song took out the DM sun then Thatch. He kept muttering to himself. The then Thatch also glowed brighter following the incantation he chanted. A second later, that Song's entire expression began to distort, his face like a monkey's. At this moment, Master Tuesday Tom shouted loudly and ran away. This is a summoning technique, all beasts are soldiers. Does that Song want to die together with the people here? The strongest beast soldier on the peak. Also the most vicious martial art of the Grandmaster. The evil beast has been activated. It will kill everyone in this area. Chi Nemo looked at the scene before his eyes and couldn't help but say gloomily. Am I, Chi Nemo, destined to die here today? At this moment, the sound of eagles came from the sky. The person who came was the guardian deity of Yenshan. Everyone looked closely and saw that there seemed to be something on the Eagle King's back. This is the milk ball activated by the bloodline of the Holy Beast. At this time, Chi Nemo was surrounded by several giant beasts. Following the order of that Song, he suddenly attacked Chi Nemo. An unprecedented sense of pressure came to Chi Nemo. At this moment, Night Show jumped down from the back of the Eagle King. The spiritual power in front of his mouth suddenly began to condense. With an angry roar, a stream of spiritual power instantly emerged from within the figure and suddenly struck the person calling out to that Song. At that moment, all the giant beasts instantly turned into phantom images and disappeared before everyone's eyes. That Song looked at Naika in front of him, his eyes filled with fear. What the hell is this? It can actually defeat a myriad of beasts. At this moment, Naika looked at that Song in front of him with a murderous expression. Master Tuesday Tom looked at Naika with a frightened expression. This overbearing weapon that could only be used once in a lifetime was destroyed by a big dog. Then he looked intently at the holy light emitting from Night Show's head, which was the mark of a holy beast. And the holy beasts had long been in hiding for thousands of years. How could they come out at this moment to help Chi Nemo overcome his tribulation? A second later, Chi Nemo was seen, fondly stroking Night Show's head and saying that he did a good job. He would give him more food in the evening. He opened the best canned food for Night Show. That Song looked at the violent weapon that could only be used once in a lifetime, interrupted by the barking of a dog. At this moment, his mentality completely collapsed. I don't believe that my weapon is even worse than a dog's bark. I have killed you. Seeing this, Chi Nemo immediately raised his hand to look, and sent him flying in an instant. Naika, let your heavenly brother help me deliver it quickly. Not long after, the Eagle King of the Temple of the Mountain took the Song's mouth and headed towards the distant Heavenly Gate. The big deal is done, so it's those bastards' turn. At this time, the three people were flustered and wanted to quietly leave the scene. Chi Nemo captured Sun Dawei and said, I'll let you go. Before and after, inside and outside, it's all up to you. After the loud cracking sound rang out, Tun Dai 6 was instantly twisted into a shapeless pile. At this moment, Shirlu felt extremely guilty facing Qin Mo's treatment. Mr. Qin, don't save me. My true identity is the disciple of the 7 Masters of Heaven. Before Shirlu could finish speaking, Qin Mo interrupted him and said that he knew. He was from Tianmen, China and was an expert in using poison. Teaching at Yan'an University was also an excuse. After hearing this, Shirlu instantly felt that he had failed Qin Mo's trust. He felt that he no longer had the right to live. Qin Mo had a faint smile on his face. Baiha Pharmaceutical Company. With so many medicinal materials, it's really hard to find a suitable person to manage them. If you die, I'll be very troubled. Sulu's eyes suddenly dimmed after hearing this. Then he slowly lowered his head. At this moment, in his heart, Qin Mo had become his boss. He secretly expressed his desire to work for Qin Mo for the rest of his life. A few days later, at the headquarters in Mexico, Elder Tian smiled and said that Song had been gone for a long time. It was probably time to return to the headquarters. The blonde beauty beside him said it was not necessary. He had finally returned to Asia Pacific. After one trip, he would definitely stay for a few more days. At this moment, the window behind the old man suddenly opened. That Son's body suddenly appeared before the crowd. Everyone in Tianman stood there in shock. This result was completely different from what Tianman had thought. Looking at that Song's whole body frozen. His spiritual power had been exhausted and he had been frozen for many days. Elder Tian looked at the situation before him and gritted his teeth in anger. That brat Qin Mo killed that Song, and after beating him, he still wanted to humiliate our Heavenly Gate. Our Heavenly Gate will absolutely not forgive him. The next day at the Baiha Pharmacy, a voice suddenly rang out from Qin Mo. This person revealed himself to be the vice president of the Yan'an Martial Arts Association, Fu Yang.
wanted to invite Qin Mo to go with his son to the Dao Nu tomb to retrieve the 7 divine skills. Fu Yang said that one of the 7 divine skills was somewhere in the Dao Nu tomb. Such a precious classic absolutely could not be taken by outsiders. I hope Mr. Tan can help the Martial Arts Association find the treasure and submit it to the country. Qin Mo heard and thought to himself, hand over your country, you can say it too. I believe you, you devil. However, when he was young, Long's grandfather told him about this 7-weapon divine technique. During the prehistoric era, the earth was filled with energy. That was the time when immortal cultivation flourished. At that time, 7 ancient great powers specialized in researching martial arts, forming the 7 strongest martial arts. Later generations called them the 7 martial arts divine arts. Qin Mo secretly thought that the 7 divine weapons technique was a classic that martial artists had to fight over. If it was submitted to the country, why would they only send a martial artist named Yen Yang to find it? Unless he wanted to keep it for himself. But looking at his confident expression, he must have a lot of information about the ancient tomb. The 7 divine weapons skill allowed him to once again increase his realm. Qin Mo could take advantage of this opportunity. So he readily agreed. The next day, the student dormitory. Fu Yang, the son of the vice president of the Yen Yang Martial Arts Association, was waiting a little impatiently. Accompanying him was a mysterious old man named Truong Lin. Qin Mo looked at Fu Yang's naive appearance and felt it would be a pity not to say a few words. Where is our target this time? Fo Duong said that he must first go to Ly Lao village in Dao No province to find the person who kept the tomb. The tomb keeper in Ly Lao village is a mysterious profession that has been passed down for generations. There are some tomb keepers who spend their entire lives without revealing their true identities. It is difficult to differentiate. Just as Qin Mo and the others were about to leave, Bai Sushue called out to them to stop. I heard everything you just said. If you go to Ly Lao village, I can be your guide. Because I am from Ly Lao village. That afternoon, some village bullies were punching and kicking an old man. The sudden appearance of the new village chief made them stop. But at this moment, the village chief thought of these 2 adults, and also created a spiritual joy for the village. Then he told them to chase this white old man away. This matter was considered over. The old man heard that he was about to be expelled from the village, and tears immediately fell from his eyes. Please don't do this. I still have my duties. At this moment, Bai Su Shui returned to Li Lu village. The village chief immediately broke out in cold sweat. No one expected his daughter to return. Moreover, she brought someone with her. It seemed that she was also a rich person in the city. Lai Feng turned around and said seductively, don't blame me, everyone. The villagers don't understand what's going on, and there's a conflict, so don't pay attention. Welcome to Ly Lao village. I am the village chief, Ly Feng. At this moment, Bokta Tuat coldly looked at the 2 people who had just bullied her father. I just saw someone bullying my father. But Fo Duong on the side advised that this trip was to guard the grave. Other matters were better left alone. Hearing the words gravekeeper, the village chief immediately became happy. Because many people had come here before for this matter. If he had an idea, he could earn a lot of money. Then he made a face that showed he knew the gravekeeper more or less. Rest in the village tonight. Go find the gravekeeper tomorrow. Fo Duong immediately agreed. He didn't expect to find the source of information so quickly. At this time, Old Man Bai, on one side, strongly advised them not to stay at the village chief's house. But for some reason, he could not tell Fo Duong the reason. At this time, of course, everyone would not believe the advice of an ordinary old man. After all, Ly Feng was the village chief of this village. Qin Mo also did not think that he would find clues about the tombkeeper so quickly. But a feeling of discord suddenly arose in his heart. The next day, Zhang Ling and Fu Yan were scared to death by the insects on the ground. What was scary was not the insects, but the pattern made up of the insect's stubs. This was the drawing of the tomb. In ancient books it is said that the position of the gravekeeper can cause some miracles. The village chief saw this and immediately said slowly that there were no models here. These were the village children who accidentally made sugar water yesterday. They were based on the ground to attract these worms. The village chief deliberately made it look like he was lying. He wanted them to think he was lying. This made them mistake him for the gravekeeper. That's right, Zhang Ling first thought of another identity for the village chief. Most likely a tombkeeper. Then he said that normal people cannot attract so many insects. And insects do not line up like that. He said it was not once, not twice. This image also did not appear for the first time. So if I guess correctly, you are the gravekeeper we are looking for. The village chief was instantly overjoyed when he saw this. He didn't expect him to fall for the bait so easily. Then he said with a helpless expression, "If that's the case, I won't hide it from you. I'm the one guarding the tomb." Seeing this, Dudong was delighted. He had easily found the grave guard. Then he gave his conditions to the village chief. As long as he led us to the grave, we would definitely not mistreat him. Then Dudong took out $10,000 in cash from his pocket and said, "If I find the grave, I will pay another $5 million. The village chief also did not expect this idiot to have so much money. Then Dudong took out a suitcase and said, "If you feel that the deposit of 10,000 is not enough, then there is another $500,000 here. This 500,000 is considered a deposit." The village chief had never seen so much money in his life. So he immediately agreed. Dudong laughed and said that gravekeepers don't like money. "I told you to bring more money." That's right, at this moment Truong Lin also believed it very much. Maybe it's because the times have changed that gravekeepers today have become like this. Qin Mo silently watched the group of people. According to ancient documents, each generation of tombkeepers was indifferent to money and material things. This feeling of inadequacy became stronger and stronger. The village chief had already calculated everything. Tomorrow, he would call someone to go up the mountain to guide them and torture them, then he might be able to earn more money. The next day scene changes, Qin Mo and Bai Su Shui meet again at the village gate. Old Bai heard that Qin Mo said that the village chief was the tombkeeper they were looking for. Moreover, he wanted to lead them to find the tomb of the gods. He immediately frowned. Then he told them not to follow the village chief. The village chief was not a tombkeeper and definitely had no good intentions. When Qin Mo asked him if he knew who the tombkeeper was, he started to stammer. So he directly told Qin Mo that he was the real tombkeeper. Bak Tatuet was also startled when she heard that. This was also the first time she heard her father talk about this. All of Qin Mo's previous feelings of inadequacy were instantly answered. My father said that the tomb was very mysterious, very mysterious. And without a tomb guard to guide the way around the area, it was basically impossible to find a way out, let alone return safely. This action of the village chief was clearly out of good intentions. Hearing this, Qin Mo's eyes began to become determined. He said that he had a reason to go. "Please show me the way to the tomb." Bak Fu heard that he could only show him a bright path. That is, only from there could he see the tomb of the god. Bai Su Shui was listening to her father's story from the side. She couldn't help but feel worried for Qin Mo after all, she learned from her father's mouth. In the past 100 years, not a single person had entered the divine tomb from Lilu village. He is a scumbag. He usually acts like a good village chief in front of everyone, but in the dark he uses his position as a guide to ancient tombs to scheme for wealth and harm lives. For nearly 30 years, every year people from the city come here to visit ancient tombs. Every year countless girls in the city fall into his hands. Whether male or female, in the end they all die. Now Qin Mo's group took the village chief as their guide to find the grave this time. As planned by the village chief, they had to go through the bushes from there. The person the village chief arranged was following that path. They would be ready to attack at any time. But they just watched as the car sped past. And it had no intention of stopping. The village chief saw that Qin Mo did not stop the car at the location he had indicated and immediately became angry. He quickly shook Qin Mo's shoulder to remind him that he had passed the ancient tomb. Why was he still going forward? Qin Mo did not expose him at this time, he just glanced at him. "Village chief, are you kidding me? This is only 5 kilometers away from Ly Lao village. The ancient tomb would not be in such a close place." The village chief was immediately scared and broke out in a cold sweat. He quickly pretended to be calm and said with a smile that the terrain here was very similar. "Maybe I was wrong." Qin Mo smiled and said, "If you get there, call me." At this moment, the village chief suddenly felt that something was wrong. He guessed that Qin Mo must have discovered something. They wouldn't find a place to kill themselves. The more he thought about it, the more panicked the village chief became. Then the village chief asked him to get off the car because it was dangerous. Hearing that, Qin Mo calmly said. The two people behind him were both martial artists from Yenyang, so what was he afraid of? The village chief's face looked like he had eaten shit when he heard that. The martial arts masters of Yenyang were all experts. If they discovered that they had been deceived, they would be beaten to the point where not even a trace of scum would remain. Not long after, Qin Mo followed the route Bai Fu gave him. Everyone smoothly arrived at the entrance of the cave tomb. Then everyone got off the car and walked towards the tomb. Seeing this, the village chief wanted to run away. Because the person he knew had entered the tomb had never come out. Qin Mo saw this and grabbed his shoulder and said, "Village chief, where are you going?" The village chief immediately avoided Qin Mo and ran away, shouting, "I don't want to go in there with you guys." Qin Mo was about to remind him that this place was full of traps and he shouldn't run around. A second later, a whooshing sound was heard. More than 10 sharp arrows were shot towards him at the same time.
Qin Mo also sighed helplessly.
But this also prevented him from taking action himself. But at this moment, a sound came from the ancient tomb door.
It seemed that someone had died again. At this moment, two figures walked out of the ancient tomb.
This made Qin Mo stutter in fear.
Unexpectedly, someone was one step ahead of them. Obviously, their goal was also the 7 divine weapons technique.
If they dared to barge in here, they must be a strong opponent.
Zhang Ling glanced and immediately recognized the identities of the two people.
The boy's name was Wei Qi Ling Tian and he was the eldest son of the Wei Qi family. The girl's name was Morong Wan and she was the second daughter of the Morong family. Wei Qi and Morong are both from the Yin-Yang family of gods, so their fighting strength is naturally not low. The scene immediately drew their swords and raised them high.
Zhang Ling promptly took out the tomb map and said to the two people, "Miss Morong and young master Ling Tian. We are from Yin-Yang martial arts. We can enter the tomb together."
The two were worried that they didn't have a map to find their way. Then they put away their weapons and expressed their willingness to enter the tomb with them. As they went deeper, the light inside the curtain became darker and darker. A dark green light was emitted from the cliff above their heads. Fo Duong was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat and shouted from behind. But no one paid attention to him. Everyone's eyes were focused on the bright eyes here. The characters beside it were like the prophetic text of the Shang dynasty. It had a long history of 3,300 years. The record here is the text of the battle formation of the martial king punishing the owner of the god's copy. Therefore, it is speculated that this is a tomb in Taitru. And the owner of the tomb is most likely the General Tianlyn of the Shang dynasty.
After listening to Qin Mo's analysis, Fo Duong immediately teased. "There are too many people watching Fong than Dian Nia."
Ling Tian explained that Tianlyn was the name at that time.
It represented technical staff involved in collecting military intelligence.
The cemetery built after this general would also be related to the typical design during his lifetime. After hearing this, Fu Yang immediately ordered Qin Mo to scout ahead. In such a dangerous situation, he could not afford to offend the noble families.
Qin Mo did not care about this and readily agreed. Let everyone follow in his footsteps.
In an instant, a four-eyed man statue hanging above them appeared.
Time and again, Fu Yang ran into the mechanism in his panic. A second later, countless arrows shot down from above them.
At this moment, phantom images appeared in front of Qin Mo, blocking all the arrows. As soon as Lang Tianqin made his move, Qin Mo judged that his strength was not weak. Surely after finding the martial god technique, he would inevitably fight fiercely with him.
Qin Mo needed to find a way to leave the team before they got the secret manual. Qin Mo then continued to scout ahead.
When going to a trap agency, Qin Mo suggested that everyone take turns going through. When going through, do not look at the stone on the pillar or it will create an illusion. Qin Mo had some understanding that this was a trap pillar, survival was as thin as silk, every step was like walking on the tip of a knife.
Very common in ancient tombs. Qin Mo was careless in his words. Touching Morong Wan's hand, he couldn't help but feel suspicious. "Girl, why are your hands so cold? Are you okay?"
Morong Wan immediately replied that if she touched me again, she would kill him.
Ling Tian was very agitated on the side.
He had never touched Morong Wan's hand. This Qin Mo appeared out of nowhere, that brat was naturally the first to fight. He secretly thought that if he had the chance in the future, he would definitely eliminate him. At this moment, Fo Duong was scared by the waves of terrifying sounds to the point that his heart jumped into his throat.
This sound did not sound like a machine.
It was like something was climbing up. But this place was very dark.
Everyone could not see what it was for a moment.
Qin Mo then recognized it on the spot as a spider. This type of spider is called the heavenly poison spider. A bite to the blood vessel wall will cause pus and internal bleeding.
As soon as Truong Lin introduced this poisonous spider to everyone, Fo Duong glanced at his neck.
His face darkened on the spot.
Qin Mo also broke out in cold sweat and said, "Don't move."
As soon as he finished speaking, the poisonous boat was slapped to the ground by him. Seeing this, Fo Duong immediately stepped on it. Qin Mo's eyes widened on the spot.
Just then, the poisonous spiders started to riot.
They were heading towards them. Truong Lin had now found the location of the secret room on the map. At this moment, Fo Duong was scared. Qin Mo had no choice but to remind him to follow Truong Lin towards the secret room. Then the poisonous spider chased after him with a very fast movement. Before long, everyone saw the door to the secret room.
At this moment, a poisonous spider landed on Morong Wan's clothes.
Morong Wan saw this and quickly used her fire sword to repel them.
Then, Fu Yang rushed into the secret room first. Qin Mo took the initiative to stay behind to block the heavenly poison boat. He let Ling Tian and Moronwan enter first. Wait until everyone entered the room safely.
Qin Mo also ran towards the secret room at this time. But Fo Duong looked at the poisonous boat that was starting to move like a river behind him. So he closed the secret room door again.
Qin Mo was momentarily speechless. But unexpectedly the spiders stopped.
At this moment, Qin Mo was suddenly terrified.
This secret room was not a hideout.
It was the palace of the poisonous spider.
Therefore, these little spiders did not dare to come near. Thinking of this, Qin Mo couldn't help but shiver. Fo Duong just stepped on a poisonous spider. But didn't he already go in there?
In the secret room at this time, everyone left Fo Duong.
This made Fo Duong very confused. Zhang Ling opened his eyes wide and looked at Fu Yang. Young Master Fu, don't move. There's a giant spider behind you.
It was attracted by the spider's breath under Fu Yang's feet.
The blood-red eyes on its head fiercely attacked Fu Yang.
At this moment, Fo Duong slowly turned his head. He saw behind him a giant monster with red eyes that was slowly dying. This was the poisonous mother spider.
After reacting, Fo Duong was scared and screamed loudly.
At this time, Qin Mo had already left the secret room.
Qin Mo then slowly opened the stone door.
What came into view were indeed dense white bones everywhere. These were probably passers-by who came here looking for the 7 divine weapons technique.
Qin Mo carefully stepped on the white bones.
A second later, the white bones under his feet immediately collapsed, causing Qin Mo to fall straight down. Faced with the pursuit of the poisonous mother spider, Fo Duong was so scared that his soul flew away and he quickly ran towards Truong Lin.
At this moment, Ling Tian urgently shouted and ran away. What good would it do?
Even spider silk was poisonous, it would poison everyone in the room. Seeing that, Truong Lin also hurriedly shouted at him, "Young master, open the door quickly. Only by running can you survive," but Fo Duong refused to listen. According to him, the door is surrounded by poisonous spiders, so opening the door will make him die faster.
Moronwan raised her foot without changing her expression. Like kicking a rock, she kicked Fu Yang towards the door. But the poisonous spider did not treat them with any favors anymore. It jumped at them. Qin Mo was lying heavily on the other side under a pile of white bones.
He slowly got up and heard Fu Yang's miserable screams from above. From this, it could be seen that they had not yet escaped the poisonous spider.
Just in time, Qin Mo was able to avoid them.
He tried to grasp the 7 martial divine technique in his hand.
Qin Mo walked to a dark alley. Not long after, they arrived at a large circular formation. They saw a giant boulder in the formation. On it were engraved 2 words, "Strange Formation."
Looking at the mysterious flag before his eyes, Qin Mo fell into deep thought. Long Grandpa once said that the chess formation was an ancient war to protect the general's retreat.
But a kind of magic formation that bewitches the enemy. These flags are like chess pieces. They can change every 3 seconds.
Therefore, the only way to survive is to pass the level. If one makes a wrong move, the passer will be buried in the chess formation.
So if Qin Mo wants to pass the level, he must calculate the position of the lifeline before entering the battle.
Just as Qin Mo was deep in thought about the chess formation, Fu Yang's voice came from the flag corridor. Zhang Ling had the map, so they had already escaped from the entrance with Zhang Ling. Moronwan and Ling Tian were still fighting the heavenly poison mother spider in the secret room. Fu Yang wished they could bury themselves in the heavenly poison mother spider. That way, there would be no rivals to compete with him for the 7 martial divine technique. But when he saw Qin Mo, he was instantly shocked. Qin Mo was not dead yet, which made him immediately reconsider. Just now, Qin Mo was locked outside the secret room. Qin Mo must hold a grudge against him. Therefore, he must find a way to take down this brat. So as the tenant, I ordered Qin Mo, since you are not dead, enter the chess game and clear the way for me. Hearing that, Qin Mo glanced at him and calmly said, "Who are you to want me to clear the way for you?" Fo Duong was angry but did not dare to do anything to Qin Mo. Then he revealed an evil expression and said, "Qin Mo, you brat, don't regret it." Then Fo Duong took out a secret manual from his chest and said that as long as Qin Mo called him dad, he would tell him the technique. Qin Mo said with a look of disdain and indifference, "Nephew, you keep this secret manual. My secret manual has long been engraved in my mind." Fu Yang was so angry that he gritted his teeth. "Wait, Qin Mo, without my secret, you absolutely cannot pass." Only to see Qin Mo slowly walking towards the flag array. A second later, the flag above his head was like a boat ramming towards Qin Mo. Qin Mo relied on his body technique to quickly dodge. But he also clearly felt a bit helpless. The formation was not just an upper attack. Instead, a series of numbers were moving. After understanding the magic in it, Qin Mo smoothly reached the other side of the French formation. At this time, Dudong followed the hint in the secret book to find the location of the black flag. The secretary had written that the black flag could be fought. He immediately guessed that as long as he could capture it, he could pass the level. But when Dudong came into contact with the black flag, he found himself unable to move. A second later, a burst of anger was heard coming from within the formation. "Mice, why did you enter the tomb and disturb the peace of my brothers?" The person who came was the guardian spirit of the tomb god. The first time seeing such a situation, Dudong was so scared that he didn't know what to do. Guardian spirit Qin Mo said, "You brat just used your strength to pass through the formation alone." After receiving Qin Mo's affirmative reply, Zhang Ling instantly panicked. "Qin Mo just now confirmed that he angered the guardian spirit, are we going to die here?" At this moment, the guardian spirit smiled, indicating that he was qualified. Because as long as he passed this chess match, it would be clear that he was the chosen one of the Ly Lao Divine Tomb. Then the spiritual guardian Qin Mo pointed out a bright path. It meant that as long as one followed this path, one could reach the center of the tomb all the way to the end. After Qin Mo left, the flag was activated again. The formation flag rose again, blocking Fu Yang and the others outside. The guardian spirit also fell asleep again. When I got to the center of the tomb, I only saw one god standing on a high platform. He was probably the owner of this tomb. Qin Mo hurriedly bowed to pay respect to the general. The general's oppressive feeling. Even Qin Mo couldn't help but feel a chill. Qin Mo showed that he had a grudge against his own body. He needed to obtain the 7 divine weapons technique to improve his strength. He used this hand to cut down his enemies. Qin Mo then continued to say that the general had left the 5 great generals and was called Thousand Mile. Such a master would definitely not argue with this junior. Before going to the tomb, Qin Mo called Mr. Thuang and asked him if he knew anything about this general. Then he continued speaking in front of the general. A moment later, the general did not expect that after so many years, there would still be people who could remember his actions. It was truly touching. Qin Mo was stunned on the spot after hearing this, and he wanted to obtain martial arts skills but only through his trial. "Didn't the merchant say that if I just tell the general a little bit about the story, he would give me the magic skill?" The general told Qin Mo not to think that knowing my background would allow him to pass the test. It would be a shame to say that all the people who came to test before him had died. General Ly Lao personally testing himself can be said to be a rare occurrence in 1,000 years. Although his current strength is not beyond the 100 mists of his original body. But if he can break through to the limit under his hands, his strength will increase by another level. Qin Mo thought for a moment and then agreed without hesitation. He was originally General Thousand Miles I, one of the 5 great divine generals. He also had one of the 7 divine weapons, the divine projection. But he died in a strange fire. A group of remnant souls after death remain in their tombs. Only to find someone who can overcome. It tests those with the fate to inherit the martial arts technique. Qin Mo carried the grudge of killing his loved one. Even though he knew that those who came to the trial all died badly, Neem insisted on going through it once. He is the Thousand Mile general who has undergone many trials. When Qin Mo agreed, a terrifying energy emanated from the general's eyes. Wherever it passed, there were only rubble and smoke. In the past, Qin Mo, even facing 2 martial arts grandmasters, was not so difficult. Now facing the general's attack, there was almost no force to fight back. Even the clothes on his body were exposed to the power from the general's eyes. After the flames emitted, they instantly burned everything to death. Qin Mo concluded after avoiding several attacks. Each attack would be 3 to 5 seconds apart. And that was also when he was at his weakest. As long as he could destroy his divine soul during this time, this experiment could be safely passed. Qin Mo then immediately opened his divine sense. His body's functions were activated immediately. His eyes instantly became sharp. "Great General, this junior has mastered your 7-armed divine technique." A second later, Qin Mo condensed spiritual power on his right hand and appeared before the general. After the sudden sound, the general's soul was instantly shattered by a punch. The general looked at Qin Mo in disbelief. Then, a look of fear appeared on his face. Following the rustling body that fell in front of Qin Mo, he laughed and said. He was the first person to pass the test in the past 3,000 years. Immediately behind came the sound of a stone door opening. A golden light emitted from it. The general said that this was the divine martial art that countless martial artists had been thinking about. Qin Mo, the rest of you know what to do. Qin Mo immediately closed his eyes, and silently recited countless mantras. The black tortoise and the black tortoise, borrowing your oracle bones, light pervades the sun, darkness in the ean, the moon intermingles, endlessly growing, chapters facing the sun. After finishing chanting, Qin Mo suddenly opened his eyes and said, I have understood. Seeing this, the general instructed that martial arts must be used for the righteous path, and informed Qin Mo after leaving the secret passage. The figure gradually disappeared in front of Qin Mo. Qin Mo did not want others to take away this martial art and cause disaster to the world. Then he used Oracle Bone Script to revise it once. While the general was in deep sleep, Fo Duan and the other person entered the hallway. At this time, Fo Duan loudly shouted at Qin Mo, "Don't even think about stealing my martial art." Qin Mo turned around and calmly said, "I didn't rob you. The divine technique is recorded in this corner, you can read it freely." Fu Yang looked at the Oracle Bone inscription with anticipation and laughed. The name of the martial art is the Roar of the Evil Dragon. Then he thought to himself that this was enough. Only with such a sacred beast martial art, we can make the heavenly poison boat stop us. Just then, a voice came from behind them. "Young Master Fu, now hand over the 7 divine weapons technique to me. I can spare your entire family's lives." Only then did Fo Duan let the 2 people entangled by the poisonous spider escape. After receiving the martial art technique, Fo Duan looked at the 2 people with disdain. The divine families are nothing more than a bunch of ants. Wei Qi Ling Tian and Moron Wan were stunned on the spot. Even Fo Duan's father wouldn't dare speak to the noble families like that. Is this kid crazy? Fo Duan looked at the 2 of them with an arrogant smile. "I am the only one who can read divine techniques in this room. I originally did not want to fight with you guys, but your attitude really offends me. Today, I will kill you guys first." In a second, Fo Duan quickly attacked the 2 people. The evil dragon roared with the 7 divine weapons technique. "Remember my name before you die. I, Fo Duan, am the future king of China." Seeing this, the 2 of them were confused. Was the 7 martial divine technique one of them? It could control martial arts. But time and time again, I, Fo Duan, took it first. Wei Qi Ling Tian saw this and immediately became nervous. Meanwhile, Moron Wan was behind him, smiling as she looked at Fu Yang's poodle appearance. Fo Duan was still screaming at the side because he didn't see any results. The atmosphere at the scene suddenly became embarrassing. Wei Qi Ling Tian hurriedly pulled Moron Wan away from the scene. It seemed that this divine martial technique was fake. As for this idiot, there was no need to pay attention to him. Qin Mo learned the divine martial art of the sky. He had already left the Li Lu divine tomb. In the bedroom 5 days later, this divine technique was indeed not on the same level as the previous martial technique. Even though Qin Mo practiced for so many days, there was no progress at all. But it's not all bad. At least it helped break through the mid-stage of grain accumulation. Suddenly a life-saving sound came from outside the room. Qin Mo rushed out and saw a man beating up Bak Tutuet. When Bai Su Shui saw Qin Mo, she immediately threw herself into his arms and asked for help. The man saw Qin Mo and couldn't help but feel surprised. He thought this was Bai Su Shui's husband. Faced with Qin Mo's question of whether he had bullied Snow White just now, the man immediately knelt down when he saw Qin Mo's muscular body. "I kept waving my hand to show that I was the maid that Qin Mo's wife invited named Huangvan. I was practicing the script with my teacher." Bak Tutuet was now scared to the point of dizziness. Knowing clearly that the other party was lying, she did not dare to make any sound. Qin Mo heard Fong Wen's words and thought to himself, "This kid misunderstood my relationship with Bai Su Shui." Then the man smiled and said, "If that's the case, then I've wrongly blamed you. Next, I'll rely on you." For the next 5 hours, Qin Mo ordered Fong Wen to do a bunch of things. Daily tasks that he didn't want to do. With great difficulty, Huang Van was so angry that he gnashed his teeth. It would be unkind to not avenge this grudge. After Fong Wen left, Qin Mo asked teacher Bai what had just happened. Bai Su Shui explained that she had signed up for an audition 2 days ago. Then she was taken seriously by teacher Fong Wen. He was a famous music producer and lyricist. Fong Wen said that he really valued me. He also told me to wear cool clothes and wait for him at home. After saying that, Bak Tutuet helplessly leaned back in her chair. This time, Huang Van was played so badly by her. No one would write lyrics for her song anymore. Bai Su Shui immediately said there was no song by Fong Wen. I'm afraid she wouldn't pass the competition. Qin Mo saw this and immediately expressed that he could help write the lyrics. A few days later, at the Chinese singing contest. At this moment, Bai Su Shui's face was filled with tension. After all, in her eyes, Qin Mo was still writing lyrics for the first time. Therefore, Bai Su Shui's heart was still uneasy. With the shout of the host, "Invite Bai Su Shui from Yanyan Qingjing University." The scene immediately became quiet. Who is this Bai Su Shui? Never heard of her. The one from the university shouldn't be a middle-aged woman. A second later, Bai Su Shui slowly walked onto the stage in a gorgeous gown.
judges and audience. Hello everyone, I am Bai Su Shui. Everyone saw the face of the fairy Tutuet descending to earth. There was no longer the silence like before. A second later, it immediately boiled up as expected. Ever since Su Shui relied on Qin Mo's words, she instantly moved everyone present. No one did not scream with emotion because of it. That scream had to be number one. If it weren't for the black curtain, even the judges on the side would have been applauding endlessly. Only Fong Wen's face was full of jealousy. He didn't expect that Bai Su Shui didn't have his song. She could even write such good lyrics. But if he offended Fong Wen, he was afraid that tonight wouldn't end so well. Here are the judges' evaluations of Snow White's performance. Starting with Mr. Fong Van. At this time, Fong Wen first praised Bai Su Shui's singing technique. Very good, and the words were also very good. But it did not pass. Because he suspected that Bai Su Shui and the lyricist Qin Mo copied his song Yen Hong Lu. Hearing that, Bok Tutuet stopped on the spot and didn't know what to do. The audience at the scene heard Mr. Fong Wen's words and instantly turned black. No wonder the lyrics were good. It turned out that they copied Mr. Fong Wen's. How shameful. A slow scolding filled the entire hall. Even though Tutuet kept defending herself on stage, it was still difficult to shut the public's mouths. The sound made her roll down the stage continuously. Seeing this, Fong Van's neutral mind gave birth to an evil thought. He shouted at Bok Tutuet on the stage and said, "You still say you don't imitate me? We will go backstage right away, do you dare?" Bai Su Shui trusted Qin Mo very much. He wouldn't copy such things. Immediately agreed to Fong Wen's request. In the hall at this time, Qin Mo secretly thought that Fong Wen definitely had bad intentions. Then he installed a mini camera on the tree next to him. Recorded what happened in the room in real time. Bok Tutuet panted as she followed Fong Van to the backstage room. As soon as Bok Tutuet entered the room, Fong Van immediately locked the door. Then he looked at Bok Tutuet with an evil expression. At this moment on the big screen of the stage, live broadcast of the conversation between the two people in the room, a startling scene appeared. Fong Van started to physically attack Bok Tutuet and said, "You are still young, if you want to make it in this world you must have my Fong Van. I said you copied. Does anyone in the audience doubt me? I have hundreds of millions of fans. You will never achieve that." Hearing that, everyone present gnashed their teeth. They didn't want to be fooled by his words. A second later, Fong Wen's agent called anxiously. He spoke to him for less than a minute. Out of the 100 million fans, there were now only 250 left. Sure enough, offending fans doesn't end well. Fong Wen immediately knelt on the ground upon hearing this, unable to believe the number of his fans. As the two of them were leaving, a voice called out to them from behind. The female leader said that she was Dung Tai Nhi of Fong Noyet Lao. "Can you two talk?" Hearing Fong Noyet Lao, Qin Mo was suddenly stunned, because Fong Noyet Lao was the place where Qin Mo's mother lived when she was alive. Yan Yang Fong Yulu. Known as the Holy Land of Chinese entertainment. Su Shui immediately became excited after hearing this. Deng Xier expressed that she wanted to do business with Qin Mo. She liked Bai Su Shui's voice. As long as Qin Mo was willing to enter Fengyue Tower as the contract signatory, she could not only help the two of them clear their name of this plagiarism. Moreover, she could also let Bai Su Shui be the headliner of their Fengyue Tower. Such two attractive conditions, the two people were instantly surprised. Qin Mo immediately agreed, but it wasn't just because of the two conditions just now, but because Qin Mo's mother was once the top singer of Fong Noyet Lao. This was an opportunity to find out the truth about his mother's death. Before leaving, Qin Mo said to Deng Xier, "Help me clarify the plagiarism without Feng Yulu's help. Feng Yulu and I have no conditions to review first. I will let you know later." Not long after, the two returned to the audition scene. At this time, Jiang Wen was still being scolded in the hall. Compared to the 190 million fans before, there were now less than 50. When the MC warmly welcomed Bok Tutuet back to the stage, without Fong Van's obstacle, she got the highest score in the whole school, 500 points. The next day, Qin Mo went to Feng Yulu to report on time. Feng Yulu also gave Qin Mo the highest courtesy. A group of beauties at the door warmly welcomed Qin Mo's arrival. Before Qin Mo could react, he was hugged by the group of beauties. "Mr. Qin, calm down, there is a first time for everything." A second later, a man appeared. The Huakue beside Qin Mo had completely disappeared. He was the golden lyricist of Feng Yulu, Luo Chengwen. The beauties gathered together and asked Mr. Lack to write a song for them. In their eyes, Qin Mo and Mr. Lack were worlds apart. At this time, Lack Thuavan said to Bok Tutuet, "Tutuet, I have pursued you all the way here. My love for you is as if heaven and earth are witnesses. Can you accept me?
Before she finished speaking, Bai Sushue pulled Qin Mo's hand and said, I already have a boyfriend.
Don't ever bother me again.
At this moment, Qin Mo also had a confused expression.
Why did the scene seem so familiar? Seeing this, Lak Thuavan looked down at Qin Mo with disdain. Are you the new trainee lyricist? I know you.
Then he gave Qin Mo a condition.
As long as Qin Mo and Bai Sushue broke up, Luo Chengwen reluctantly accepted him as his disciple.
A group of beauties heard that Mr. Lak wanted to take on disciples and showed expressions of admiration.
Mr. Lak was the top of the 4 great talents of Fong Noyet Lao. It was an honor to be guided by him. Moreover, Fong Noyet Lao does not lack women. Young man, do you want to miss this heaven-sent opportunity because of a woman? Qin Mo thought for a moment, his expression instantly darkened.
Then he pulled Bat Tuet's hand, showing that he despised being his disciple.
Seeing this, Lak Thuavan instantly became angry, his face showing blue veins. You really don't know what's good for you. I want to have a fair and square competition with you. Whoever loses will forever leave Fong Noyet Lao.
Qin Mo thought to himself that if he wanted to find clues about his mother's death, he would definitely have to enter the upper floors of Fengyue Tower.
Replacing Luo Chengwen was not a bad choice. So Qin Mo agreed to him.
The two agreed to compose a song within 3 days.
Dang Wen Ge would know in 3 days. This competition brought countless famous people.
Even the Qin family that no one dared to mention was attracted.
Qin Mo's name attracted their attention. Because in Yenyang, except for their family, no one dared to have the surname Qin.
With the appearance of 4 great talents, the atmosphere at the scene was instantly ignited. In their eyes, this time the winner was of course Lak Thuavan, the top of the 4 great talents. After the host introduced the 2 competitors, the audience below saw Qin Mo revealing a trace of disdain.
This person was just an idiot at first glance, how could he dare to compare him with Mr. Lak?
Following Mr. Lak's footsteps onto the stage, the scene was quiet. Before the mountain, torches were lit up, and the sunset reached the mountain top. In the sound of pigeons and cranes, several village houses that had once met old friends fell to this song.
After listening, the audience here all offered 3 million, 5 million to buy that song.
But in the eyes of DM Duong and Tan family, this word, although beautiful, has a somewhat conflicting meaning.
Qin Mo, now it's your turn to present the creative results of the 3 days.
After drinking the 3 fives of Tan Duong, I rode a horse to Bin Shuyan and proudly crossed the Yang Pass, understanding the clouds and the moon, the wind and the sky were bright. The sun and the dust were scattered, the 8 emperors settled down and the 6 harmonies were at peace.
Young Master Tan was immediately surprised after hearing that.
Please give me a bowl of wild Din Lu Kapan. Luo Chengwen was instantly flustered when he saw this.
How could a mere intern have such power?
Young Master Qin offered 70 million to buy this song.
Qin Mo looked at him calmly and said sorry, the lyrics are not for sale.
The beauty standing at the side instantly widened her eyes when she saw this.
Mr. Tan, do you know who he is?
He is the 2nd son of the Tan family, the Qin Emperor.
Qin Mo heard and thought to himself.
After knowing that the buyer was the leading family of Yenyang, the Qin family.
Then Qin Mo gave it to him.
Qin Mo was in Yenyang this time to find the reason for his parents' death. And his Qin family is a big Yenyang family. It is extremely similar to the family his father belonged to when he was alive. Qin Mo secretly thought, in the future he should be able to follow this young Master Qin. He would be able to investigate more information about the Qin family. Second young Master Qin, my songs are only given to those with a predestined relationship and are not for sale.
But you and I having the same surname Qin can be considered predestined. Consider this song as a gift to you.
Qin Huang was stunned when he saw this.
He thought that Qin Mo was a good person and would only give it away without selling it.
Then he thanked Qin Mo for giving him that gift. If he had time in the future, he would definitely come to the Qin family to drink and chat. Praised by young Master Qin, Qin Mo got his wish and became the head of Fengyue Lu.
Lak Thuavan, this person was removed from Fong Noyet Lao. After everything was over, Qin Mo wanted to find a house for himself first. Fo Duong and Truong Lin brought a group of people to block his way.
Last time in the Divine Tomb, Tu Nan was tricked by Qin Mo into learning a fake martial art. He was made to learn how to bark in front of the divine families. He lost all face and still holds a grudge in his heart. Several fierce people came to stop Qin Mo. They told him to immediately hand over the real martial art technique. Otherwise, Qin Mo would die without a place to hide. In Zhang Ling's eyes, Qin Mo had reached the peak of martial arts strength. But today's group of people would definitely be able to handle it. Fu Yan gave an order and everyone simultaneously attacked Qin Mo. Facing the attacks of several people, Qin Mo still stood there indifferently. In the blink of an eye, their fists were about to hit. Explosions echoed throughout the streets. In an instant, the few people who attacked were almost instantly sent flying by Qin Mo. You guys are really too weak. Although using the soul will have some dangers. But if Qin Mo does not die, the future will be a disaster.
Following a cry, the ghost head on Zhang Ling's body suddenly took shape. It became a real soul that would stand behind Zhang Ling.
Following Truong Lin's command, Lin Tuong drew a full moon in the sky. At this moment, a golden light suddenly appeared in Qin Mo's eyes. The battle instantly stopped before Qin Mo's eyes, motionless. A second later, Lin Tuong suddenly changed his attack method.
Ambush towards Fo Duong and Truong Lin.
This is the hidden disaster that Truong Lin mentioned. Although he can summon a spirit general. But if the opponent's path can be profound by itself, the soul can be controlled by him.
But Fo Duong could not avoid Lin Tuong's attack. The soul summoned by Truong Lin would be assassinated and killed on the spot. At this time in the Yin Yang Martial Arts Association building, the Vice Patriarch was waiting for his son.
He summoned the 7 martial divine technique on Qin Mo, then he gave it to the Yi family. The Deep family promised that as long as he stood at the temples, he would definitely be able to get the treasure lock of the Yin Yang Martial Arts Association. At this moment, Truong Lin, carrying injuries all over his body, ran back very worriedly. Seeing this, the Vice Patriarch was suddenly shocked.
Why is it only you? Where is my son?
Zhang Ling blinked and gritted his teeth.
His family head and young master were killed by Qin Mo. Hearing this, the Vice Patriarch was instantly struck by lightning, stunned on the spot, tears streaming down his face in an instant. He vowed to kill Qin Mo to avenge Vice Patriarch Yang.
The Deep family did not think that Fo Duong would be killed instead when he went to steal the martial art. So I told the Vice Clan leader that the Yin Yang Special Forces were just holding a practice competition, and Qin Mo happened to be the chief instructor of Langya. At that time, I will lend the Special Forces to Yi Yulan.
The plan is to kill Qin Mo and retrieve the martial arts technique.